Fun.
Please check screen.
Mhm.
Ah.
Oh, and now I see us. And now
Are
I
we
see us.
up? Because I got
Yep.
an error.
Well, let
We're
me.
live now, but
Yeah, I just did a control
right after this
refresh.
ad break because I am not a subscriber again.
Oh,
Yeah,
shame on you.
it's just got the like little, I don't know, whatever you want to call it there. We're not actually on the screen yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Starting screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see if everyone can hear us.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I could probably mute my microphone and someone could talk and I could test it.
I did turn the audio on for a split second and I was able to hear it on stream.
Sweet. I don't know
Cool.
what that error was all about then. Hopefully it's
It-
uploading to Twitch.
Could be.
Yeah, I just muted again. I heard you and I heard
Sweet.
Bonner.
Sweet.
Could be.
Kind of
Oh,
anarchy
apparently
is
mine's-
this?
Oh,
Yeah, I just muted again. I heard you and I heard Bonner.
Oh yeah, so then
And then,
Hell.
I heard it.
Rory, were you able to look at the recap I had set up for session 3 that I'll be reading for the start of our session?
no, I didn't. The recap or the notes?
Yes.
Oh,
Rory, were you able to look at the recap I had set up?
who's got their Twitch on?
That was me. It's my
I
phone.
can. Okay, as I say, I can hear
Yeah.
it. So
I was really confused too.
Where in the
That's
world?
funny.
Okay. So you have the session 3 notes done?
Yeah.
Sweet. Did you see
Yeah,
what I was
it's-
talking about in the document? Like there's session 2 notes in there twice.
Weird that you have it in there twice, because I've got... Whoa.
He doesn't. You did it.
Yeah, because I've got the title of it, labeled session 2 and in between, so it'd go in between 2 and 3, and then I put the name of the file, session 3, so that way I know that I have to read it during session 3.
Are you keeping all the notes in one document?
No. I have them broken up.
Oh, so I was, I guess, sticking them all into the one document?
It's
Ah!
just a Google Drive because then it'll just constantly update it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you don't
No.
have to sit there and upload it every week.
Well, I don't have to, we don't have, 100 different documents.
But that's what I mean. Like if it's just doing the one document every week, it's just changing it as
Yeah.
it goes instead of other such
Yeah.
things.
Well, and I've been keeping a local backup on my computers,
Alright.
so...
So in that main document, session 3 notes are not there right now.
Correct. I'll add them after reading,
Yeah.
because I just wanted them kept broken apart.
Yeah.
But I can add them, no problem. Might as well be the group scribe.
Before we get going, Ryder, how about them Vikings, huh?
About them, hey,
I was able to listen to the third quarter, and then
It's
I got
primetime
too
Kirk,
late.
baby.
Bears and Lions both lost too. It's a good week.
Yep.
Yo, magic numbers, what, 1?
Yeah. Well, it's
Did
funny.
anyone
Someone.
say, oh my?
No, Tigers don't play in this division. They play in baseball.
Gotcha.
Yep. I was watching the Facebook post or page for the Vikings, and someone goes, Kirk, JJ needs. No. Jefferson needs to get an N95 mask because he catches everything.
Well,
Yeah, that's how we got COVID that one time too.
I'm gonna go ahead
I gotta-
and move us over.
Oh crap. Okay, I gotta finish this.
Yeah, go ahead. No worries, guys. No worries.
I don't need to, I have people knowing what I'm drinking.
I just got red Kool-Aid. It's not really Kool-Aid though.
Is it Crystal Light?
It's ice.
Sparkling ice?
Yo,
Yep.
hey, by the way,
Oh, that's what I just finished.
What are you
I don't know if
drinking?
you can see.
You drinking the
Red.
same thing?
It's like a red. It's a just Mio, but it's the red Kool-Aid
Oh,
from Mio.
gotcha.
Oh,
Gotcha.
yeah. I've
Oh
got Coke
yeah,
Zero in my mug.
and we are all in the wrong places. That's fantastic.
No? Oh, man. You know what? I thought I'd fix this. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. You need to be there.
How about we just play the person's
I
character? I'll be
need to
DM.
be
I'm
I'm
in
not
the
a
right
You need to
place.
be there.
I'm in the right place. It's okay.
Phantom
We'll just cause all sorts of chaos.
you.
I'm I'm always down for chaos.
Clearly, I mean, you don't light anything on fire.
No, no, nope. That'll be the
Oh. I'll
what?
probably have to do that again at some point. Perfect. We are live. Hello, everyone out there. The cameras will be adjusted here in a second.
They look great now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, they're all in place.
There you go. Let's see here. So today is session 4. Session 4 of Fall of Red Dawn. I'm sure I'll get better at these intro things at some point, but they're just still awkward to me. So let's go ahead and let's see here. I mean, we can pretty much get right into it pretty quickly here. Just want to say thank you for everyone that's joining us. We didn't start the fire. Fire. I'm missing that one.
Because Vantalord lit everything on fire.
Yeah.
And then I think he's quoting the song.
Got
We
it.
It's
can
always
start
been
the
burning.
fire.
Since Vantalord was turning.
Yeah. There was definitely some fires. Yes, and song. Yes.
Yes.
I'm glad you
Okay.
guys are here to catch all the things that I will never catch in my lifetime.
So you got to remember though, as a classical pianist, and I love music, I get many musical references.
Oh, good. Just real quickly, you guys saw it on the starting page. Just want to give a shout out to a couple of the sponsors here in the beginning before we start out too much. First two that I'll get here is Art of Mike Disney. Great sponsor, talented artist. I still have the little owl bears he taught Becca and I to paint at the last Blue Box Con, which, by the way, Blue Box Con coming in May 19th and 20th are the dates right now. We're planning a lot of really cool stuff, and I believe most of us will be there. Maybe not, Zep, but you know, there's life obligations too that we
Gotta work on my wife. It's not me.
I'm not working on nobody. There's life. That's all I'm saying. Skylar
Lester,
gets
how
to take along with me, so I mean, benefit to him.
How do we bribe her? That's the question.
I don't know. She's supposed to be talking to your wife tomorrow, Tom, so. She
Okay,
just wants to
then.
make sure she's not going to be bored, I think, is the problem.
Oh no, she.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she'll have.
Because she doesn't do anything D&D.
Got it. Well, kind of on that note, you know, we've heard that over the last 2 years, and really, it's just an amazing community. Extremely welcoming. All the people that we've ever had there. It's been a blast. Skylar can speak to that. And this year we're planning something a little bit different. Still in the works though, so I'm not going to say anything. Kind of, you know,
Aww.
tug you guys along there. But there's some pretty cool stuff being planned for this year's con.
Meanie.
So yeah, all that came from Mike Disney, because he was like a painting instructor at the last con. It was fantastic, yeah. So he taught us like the different base, you know, the coats and all that, and so it was pretty cool. And Ferex Fabrications, the guy is not technically, I don't think, a master wood craftsman, but the guy's amazing. He does amazing work with different wood. He's got different stuff. I believe it's on Etsy. But amazing work. I actually had a custom box made by him, just high quality. So with that, we'll go ahead and hop into. Oh, see, I told you at some point I'll get used to all this. Um, just remember, so today's Sunday. So Tuesday we have Greyhawk Awakening at 5. Wednesday, Lore Master Arcanum at 5:45. Friday on Discord we have Friday Night's Crusade, and then the following Sunday at 1:30 we have Tears of Air with John.
As as stated, I hear that Tears of
Air.
is going to start having some other players become NPCs in the Discord chat, so that should add a whole new dynamic to that.
Yep. Just like with the Greyhawk Book 1, there'll be some NPC shopkeeps, and Bonner here, Tom Vantelord, will be one of those shopkeeps. So,
I wasn't gonna say that, but I say it's
Hey.
gonna bring a whole new dynamic. That's what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, so that when any time the players are in that area, they can interact with that shop on Discord. So it's pretty cool. So with that, we'll go ahead, Vantelord. Let's get into what happened last time.
Okay. As our fearless leader said, I'm playing a dwarf paladin, level 1, by the name of Antilord. Uh, Kind of just a duller character, brownish skin, just fire red eyes, but kind of a boring dwarf as far as outward appearances when looking at the rest of the class. So there's a little bit of the backstory. But let's get into last session. So last week we found ourselves at the staging house in Duvik's Pass. Our mighty gnome Zephelius, which a lot of us are going to just call Zep, finally has had the opportunity to identify the mysterious dagger that my character was given by one of the monks on the way to Duvik's Pass. The dagger, we learned, has an aberration aura and is from a conjugation class of magic. But it did take Zeb about 30 minutes to learn about it because the magic aura around it was not very powerful. As Zeb got more knowledge about this mysterious dagger, we learned it has the capability to do teleportation, but my character has to attune to it by practicing, throwing it, using it. Pretty much the dagger has to trust me in a easier way to saying it. We also learned that we don't know how many charges this teleportation dagger has. The following morning, we were woken by Father Samuel right around sunrise to join us for the morning gathering, where the three of us, myself, Rihu, and Rajesh, stated that they wanted to join Father Samuel right away. Zep said, "Nope, I need an hour. I need to get ready for the day. I need to do some reading, whatever he feels like doing." Once the three of us got to the joining, we saw that we were pretty much in the area of town where we first met Father Samuel, and we saw food, which made at least myself and Rihu quite happy. We also saw that everyone in the town had gathered into organized groups, and they were counting off in 10, and was kind of normal. It was not, for us, it was kind of weird, but for that group, it was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 10 for each group. One of the monks though saw our group and started panicking because there was only 3 of us, not the original 4 that they expected. We had to explain that Zeb was back at the staging house. After all the groups, one group started to panic because they found one person missing in their group, and it actually caused the entire group that was there to kind of go into a panic. Father Samuel stated he had to go see what was causing it because he recognized the person that was missing, or recognized the name. My character, Vantelor, decided to join him. The two of us... okay, thank you. The two of us came to a person's house, which was not terribly far from our staging area, but in a similar direction, but not right next to it. Upon arriving, Father Samuel called out the person's name, which was Sarah. He then asked both of us, myself and him, to go through and look through the house. After calling several times, we actually opened the door, walked into the house, didn't see anything in the room. My character went back to the bedroom, and everything looked in its normal place, except in the bedroom there was a woman laying on her side, not moving. We relayed this to Father Samuel, who just immediate shock, his entire demeanor just gasping, shocking, flushed, and he told my character, "Do not touch her," and he went to proceed to reposition her. and we saw that Sarah's face was just sunken, it was dried, and it was just stretched out. Finally, my character goes, Vantilor says, "Hey, is this the sickness and plague that everyone's been talking about?" Which we learned, no, this is new. It's something that's happened only in the last few weeks. They're not sure what it is, and Father Samuelson, he's not trained in medicine or anything medical, so he's not sure what is this, what type of disease. Upon saying that, the two of us decided to start walking back to the group, taking a detour to go see if Zep was ready, which coincidentally he was. Um, Upon arriving back at the main group, Father Samuel went to talk to a couple of monks, and we saw some tension building up in the townsfolk as Father Samuel was talking to the other monks. Um, we did learn that this sickness, from what Father Samuel has seen, is only happening in Duvik's Pass, and he hasn't heard of it in any other surrounding areas. And finally, as the tension continued to rise, a single boy, in his early teens, started running towards the group in just an absolute panic. We estimated the group size is about 150 people. And finally, when we can finally say, we say, pale skin, just total fear. This kid's not able to form any words, and we just hear him screaming. The only thing he's able to say is something happened back there. And he was saying that to Raja, because Raja decided to go up and say, hey, try to figure out who this boy was, what's going on. And he kept pointing back in the direction from which he came. Father Samuel pretty much proverbially slapped this boy, saying, hey, are you pointing to the mines? And the boy just kept saying, back there, shaking his head. One of the people in the crowd yelled that this was actually one of the orphan boys, and said, hey, where's his brother? Which told us as a group there's two of them. And this caused the boy just to frantically start crying, saying, we know the mines aren't haunted. Nothing is there. It was just a stupid bet. He looks at the four of us and asked if we could find his brother, and we could just see an utter sense of shame that his brother's missing, and they both went into the mines because they know it wasn't a good place to be. During our walk to the mine, we just hear the boy just muttering under his skin, talking about the scraping sounds, the damp walls of the mine, fingers tapping like they were on a table. Throughout all this, the boys just continue saying, you gotta find my brother, it's just the two of us. You gotta find my brother, it's just the two of us. After several minutes, the entire group reached the mine. The boy states that there are two entrances. A gate of some kind that we saw was put up, but there was a break in it that was wide enough where anyone can walk through. And Father Samuel just said, hey, people try to get in, but we don't have a force capable of stopping them. The boy told us that he and his brother went into the mine right around sundown. They got turned around at the end of the hallway. He said the direction they thought they went was left because he saw a door, but I was only with my brother for an hour and a half. So we entered in. Once we were inside the mine, we saw the hallways that were actually quite tall for being a mine. They were over, at least 12 feet up, because we were able to hit that 12-foot to get some fluid-based lanterns. We learned Zep's mage hand wasn't actually strong enough to lift one of the lanterns, so they were quite heavy. That led us to wonder, why are there lanterns in the mine that are actually lit, being the mines aren't supposed to be occupied? And with that, when we were trying to keep from being turned around, we discovered a way to do, marking which direction. So, and as everyone had mentioned during it, we continued hearing scurrying. We went into a room where it looked like it could have been a eating area, very low lit, so my character took on the ability to decide to light everything on fire. Didn't see anything in the room except for another door leading into a storeroom where we saw a bag that had a very putrid smell coming out of it. Upon lighting that on fire, we were actually encountered by a kobold. Shortly after the fight, we noticed that the rooms were beginning to fill with smoke, and we decided to come out of the room, shut all the doors, and head out the other direction where the fork was in the road. And we had a massive sound come across, and we came into a final room that had both stalagmites and stalactites that were going about. It was probably about a 50-foot by 50-foot room. and that's where we actually ended the session. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Vandalord.
Sorry if I went into too much detail. I'm
No,
a note taker.
that is good. And you can find those notes on the Discord as well. Vandalord here, Tom takes the notes and we get those into the Discord. So he does an amazing job there. Super, super helpful. Great for you guys. Wonderful for me. Because, boy, do I ever. I'm thankful for those notes. Okay, we can go ahead. Character introductions. Ryder, tell us about Rihu.
Just the same old introductions we've been doing. Is that what you're looking for?
I mean, essentially, right? Have fun with it. Like, just have fun with all of this. But character name, race, class, level, and whatever you want to let the viewers know.
All right. Rihu is a level 1 human monk. He's about 6 feet tall, and he's a bit of a unkempt, kind of standard-looking human. Definitely a traveler by the way of his appearance.
And what about Raja?
Raja is a level 1 rogue Ifrit, and definitely likes to keep to himself quite a bit.
Vandalord.
Well, I'm a level 1 dwarf paladin. Let me change screens quickly. As like I said, average in size. I'm only about 4'9". Brown hair, fire red eyes, a light brown skin. And I'm kind of a young dwarf, only about 20 years old, very outgoing. I come from a long line of paladins. I've told stories dating back to my great grandfather and some of the training that he did.
Mm-hmm. And little Zep.
Well, you hit the nail on the head there. I'm playing Zep. I am a little gnome. I'm a level 1 wizard. And right now I don't really trust anyone in the group.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Especially after last session.
It was only a little fire. Come on.
Did you see the room? It was completely on fire.
Hey, you needed to be able to see better. That's the reason why I did it.
At least you would have been the last one to die of smoke inhalation.
Yep. I would have been the second to last, which then would have made it even worse.
And now we find ourselves in that very large chamber with the smoke that had pushed you guys out and nearly made you guys start choking and dying. And we find ourselves in that chamber. Just so that we can see who's who, we got Raja up here. And behind him, because he had came in this here entrance from that original fork, Raja started heading across. Zep followed him, lighting. I think you had cast.
I lit the
light
top
on
of my.
him, right?
I lit my staff. Or no, I lit his dagger. That's
Yep,
right.
Yep. So he's lit up. We got Zep following behind him, and then over here we have both Vandalord and we have Rihu. And that is where we start. One second. And
Where do we go? Oh.
Oh, it's first
I'm the
person
dungeon
view.
master again, Dad.
light. There we go. Okay.
Characters are messed up again on your overlay.
Let's go.
Why is it? just take 5 minutes to go through each overlay and just fix them all.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do that right away in the beginning. Rihu, Raja, Bantalore.
I I
Yeah.
even brought that up for you.
You know, I know, but I figured when I adjusted one overlay, it would fix
No,
them all. That's not the case.
sadly it doesn't.
So, boom, it's all fixed now though. I'm getting better at it. Uh, let's see here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Sure. What it's just free form. So whatever you guys want to do.
Well, fine then. I'm gonna break this. As I'm walking around the outside edges, other than because obviously I've got dark vision, other than the bones laying around the room, am I seeing anything like shelves or any ornate objects that stick out that's saying why this area is inhabited?
How far are you trying to walk the whole room? Are you?
I'm only gonna take it about like 10, 15 feet at a time, just trying to investigate slowly.
Okay.
Just because I do find it odd that this mine people aren't supposed to be in, and yet we've been seeing lanterns that still have fluid and they're all lit.
Okay. So you're just wanting to kind of come around and start going around the perimeter, but not
Yeah.
not exceedingly fast.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for perception. It is dark with that night vision or dark vision. You do have kind of that grayscale. There are some lanterns.
So, I rolled a 12.
Okay. You do notice that there are some ledges in this room. Easier to see on the opposite side. It's a little bit hard to make them out, but you do see that there are some of these ledges about halfway up the wall. And then, it's a coarse wall in general. This room isn't, the walls are not smooth. Fairly common to the rest of this mine as well. It's not something that, your kin, as the dwarves are mining, will oftentimes make the walls very smooth as showing of their workmanship. This is just being mined. There's no beauty to it. You do see that these stalactites and stalagmites do they're rather tall and from both ceiling and floor. So that's kind of the gist that you get from the walls. There are some ledges.
But nothing on them. Okay.
No, not from where you can see. You can't see anything that is on them.
Can
Yeah,
I
if I
see anything
remember,
that's wood in the room?
That was a low blow, man. I'll
What?
take my torch and no, I'm just.
What was that, Roger?
if I remember correctly, it's the. See if we look at the Twitch, it's the hallway on the left that has the blue light down it.
Yep, so that's correct. So from when you were coming in and you saw that blue light, there's what you're looking at. You see that blue light that you had noticed. You do see this very large, looks like perhaps maybe a spine with some offshoots of bones that are in there, perhaps. Outside of that, you see that blue emanating light.
Okay. I like to
Can
go
I
up.
see it since I'm directly behind him?
Yeah, it's not. Oops. It's not overly hard to see into that room with those. You can see there's a little bit of a yellow light, what you'd probably assume to be fire. So there is some slight illumination in there. Is that for you the bones that I described? That would be outside of your vision because of the immediate light in your eyes and the lack. Zep, do you don't? Or, I mean, Raja.
I don't have dark vision.
Raja, do you have dark vision?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. Zep, without that dark vision, it's just hard to make out those shadows. But you do see the blue and yellow light on the far side of the room, and then darkness in between there.
Hey, Vantaboard. Looks like there's something you can light on fire down that hallway.
Do you really want me to? I will gladly light it on fire.
Yeah, go check out the hallway.
I vote no.
Oh, come on. What damage can it do?
We already saw what happened once before.
Well, he clearly makes good decisions.
And you clearly don't egg him on at all.
Just for that, should I light him on fire?
By the way, my character at this time too, I'd like to move towards the middle of the room where the other rest of the members are.
Okay. You usually see them with the illumination. Yep.
Yeah. I don't have good vision, so I want to stay with Lightus.
And Roger,
So what you're
go ahead.
so what you're saying is you want to be away from the pyro. Gotcha.
There may be a double meaning for sure.
What do you guys do now? You got two. You got two options that you. I mean, you could stay here. You could go back where you came from. You could go forward.
I want to go forward.
I think we need to press on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm pressing on. If I'm not seeing anything, I'm gonna start just making a straight line right towards that door.
What is the marching order?
We had
front.
we had this set up last round. I believe it was Vanta and Raja in the front, and then myself and Zeph in the back.
Just because you guys don't have dark vision yet, we do.
Correct.
I'll let Vanillord in front of me for this.
All right.
Do you take the lead, Vantalord?
Yep, absolutely.
Does he still have the torch active?
Yes. Yes, I do. It's in my left hand because I've got my shield on my back because I'm carrying it like a backpack.
I was just making sure because you dropped it at one point last session. So.
And is the light?
Yeah.
Is the light spell still on Raja?
No, I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna touch Vantalord quickly on his helmet and light his helmet on fire instead, or light up instead.
You're gonna use light to illuminate him.
Yep, I'm gonna drop the one on Raja's dagger and I'm gonna put it on Vantalord's head.
Okay.
I'm a light bulb.
Very,
Shining beacon.
very kind of you.
Lead
to,
on.
Open up his hands.
Thanks for enlightening me a little bit.
Okay. So
That's
you
fantastic.
guys proceed forward.
Yep. Once I get to the other side of that doorway, as I look around, do I see any people, or I should say any creature?
Go ahead and roll perception.
Ouch. A 5.
5. You don't. Even with your dark vision, you see the shadows. If you didn't know better, you'd swear that you heard some kind of cracking, some kind of
I'm alerting the others of what I'm hearing. Hey, guys! I'm not seeing anything, but it's almost like. Have you ever cracked your neck or your back?
Are we
That's
too
kinda what
far
I'm
away
hearing.
to hear the cracking? Is he the only one who can hear it?
Go ahead and roll perception. Now that he's made you aware of it.
How much chaos can we cause in one session? All of it.
17.
17. Did anyone else roll?
We rolled a 1 with a +5, so 6.
Okay.
I rolled a 3 with a +2. Come on.
Raja, are you trying to hear it?
I rolled a 9.
9. What? So the two of you slightly, Rihu and Raja, you slightly hear. Well, then again, maybe it's just your imagination. Not too sure. It's pretty faint, and it's not very often. Every little bit, every minute or so. Zep, you're able to listen a little bit closer, and you hear this. And it goes and comes. It doesn't sound overly close, but it definitely sounds to be in front of you somewhere. And for
Could
you,
not hear anything, by the way. When you were making whatever noise you were referring to, we couldn't hear it.
just a still. The suppressor must be taking it off. Then you hear this popping and cracking like sound.
Okay.
Yeah, good to know.
Like if you were cracking your back.
Like perhaps how you get that, just that kind of tap 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 tap. Yeah, like cracking your back or your neck, that kind of sound. But for you, Zep, the shadow, like so much of this room is dark, that this is almost unsettling to hear.
So, how far away is Vantalord right now from that what looks like bones kind of in front of him?
My assumption is we're all walking simultaneously, correct?
Yeah,
Pretty much. We're one right behind the other. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking about him,
correct.
because he would be in the front.
Nope. As you're going through this, hearing that sound, I'd imagine, do you guys stop while you kind of try to figure that out?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20, 25 feet away.
So I want to walk up right to his left, kind of behind him still. And I want to cast Mage Hand and have it go over and just like, I don't know, like rattle the bones a little bit. Touch it. See if anything happens.
Okay. You move your hand, and this translucent hand appears and hovers out, grabs that, what looks like a very large spine, and you move it. Nothing seems to happen.
Did we hear any more sounds? Did it make any different sounds as I did that?
No. Nope, and it doesn't. As you move it, you don't get anything aside from the bone scraping on the ground. You don't get any extra sound or nothing comes of it.
Okay.
I'm just going to say out loud, I feel like we're being too cautious.
Can I walk
Yeah.
into the cavern?
Be my guest.
The first room, but like carefully. And only a little ways in, like 10, 15 feet.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah,
you
and
go ahead.
I say I'm gonna walk in. So as we're looking at that image where there's the two torches, I'm gonna walk to the one on the most right, just so I can hopefully pull something out.
Okay. 1 second here.
It's off of Twitch. The Tailspire is.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Trying to find.
Overlays are messed up.
Again.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's because Tailspire disappeared.
Oh. Interesting.
Control S, Control S.
Let's see.
I guess
here.
I'm leading this thing.
Well, we're all in trouble. Someone take away his torch.
Okay, so Raja, you're moving in, right? Is that correct? Not. Yeah, Raja. You said you were moving in.
Yeah, like 10 to 15 feet in or so.
Okay. And Vantalord, you said you're moving by the torch to the right.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna hug the wall to the right of where we entered in, and that's just it. I'm not gonna go too far in. I just want to like get my bearings.
Okay.
I don't want to go out in the open like Dingus up there.
Okay. And what about you, Rihu? What are you doing?
Um, I think I'm just actually gonna follow Raja in.
Okay. You guys a bit of a view of what you're looking at? So, Vandalord, as you walk in, of course, for all of you, these lit areas where these torches are very well illuminated, much more than those small lanterns that you see on the walls. These are illuminating a much, much larger area.
Oh, good, good, good.
And
If
then,
it's alright. Oh,
As I moved further into the wall, into the room, did I see anyone moving or did I hear anything?
you
Because
didn't.
now that
It is at this moment. It is actually very silent. You hear the dripping of the water off of the walls.
yes,
can I go over? Like, do I see all the bones in the back?
Yep, you see those bones there.
Yeah. So could I go around to try to see if there's a little bit quieter way
Like
into,
like this here area.
so that I'm not stepping on all the bones?
Yeah, yeah. You're wanting to proceed forward, correct? But kind of be careful to not step on the bones.
All right. I don't want to make it a lot of noise,
Okay.
and I don't want to go too. I just want to like go to the entrance.
Okay.
Can I look up at the ceiling
Yeah.
as he's doing that?
Raja, go
I
ahead.
just want to make sure.
Raja, go ahead. And roll stealth. And Zep, yeah, you can absolutely. You look up at the ceiling, and where because of the light, you do see some illumination up there. You do see the shine, the glisten of the water as it's dripping off of these stalactites. And so you do see the ceiling. It's quite high up there, probably 25, 30 feet up at the low points, with stalactites.
And is there a right side as well? Looks like it's kind of hard to tell if it's a pathway or not.
Yep. So
yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Okay, so let's come back to Raja real quick. What'd you get for your stealth?
14.
14. So you're able to avoid the bones. You're not exactly positive how quiet you're being in the grand scheme, right? But you don't step on any bones.
Okay.
So you're able to make it to this point. The bones, for the most part, are actually pressed up against the wall. You do see a couple more of these large spine-like bones, and then many more various, looks like humanoid type of skeletons.
So it's like a trail where they just push everything to the side and then.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It looks like everything's kind of been shoved off. So for you to find a path, it's not too hard.
Oh, okay.
Will I explain the rest? Go ahead and roll a perception check. You do have dark vision, so go ahead. Why not? Let's do that at advantage. Zep, you had looked up at the ceiling, and
Yep.
Oh.
Rihu, you had asked about the right. Are you moving to the right, or are you just taking a
Yeah,
look?
I'd like to go to that right path.
Okay, so as you
And I was gonna do the same.
okay, so you'll follow with him. As you two move to the right, that blue glow that you saw is becoming brighter and brighter and brighter. As you look, though, you see these thick. It almost looks like vines, but they're white. You see these very thick, white ropes. No, not ropes. Do you get closer?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So as you walk up even closer to it, you see a couple things.
Oh,
You see that these are spider webs. Thick spider webs. So thick that it's equivalent to, well, Rihu, if I remember right, you once were on a bit of an adventure to protect an item in a forest-like jungle. This would be similar to walking through that jungle.
So
Why
as
does it
they're
have to be
standing there-
spiders?
So these are very thick. Not to say you couldn't pass through if you wanted, but it'd be admittingly tough. That's pretty easy to make out. But you are able to see through, and it looks like on the other side from where you are, it looks like perhaps there's a large cauldron, and it's sparking or something like that. And it looks like something, but you're not sure what, is coming out of or floating above this cauldron.
Going to quickly turn around and alert the rest of the group that can hear me. I'm not sure if Raja's close enough to hear or not.
He's actually
I wanna-
on the other side of a very thick wall. From
So
you.
he
So
would
if
not
you
be able to
yell,
hear us.
you could
Yeah.
yell, and there's an echo in this place.
I'm just gonna yell, "Come check this out!"
Okay.
So all, hearing his voice, I want to, take my long strides that I have and get up right behind them. And then as I see the spider webs, I want to tell Vantaboard that those you can light on fire. Please light those on fire.
You're actually giving me permission?
Yes, light those on fire. Burn it all.
Gladly.
Okay. Gonna come
So-
back.
So I'm taking that torch and I'm lighting as much of that as possible. Because that should burn off and not cause smoke.
It should. It should.
Oh, let me get back in character. Sorry. that this shouldn't cause smoke, should it, guys?
I think this is a safe bet to burn.
Okay, good. I don't. No more guff for me burning it, right?
I give you my permission.
Okay.
All right. So while Vantalord is preparing his torch, because remember you had the light cast upon you, so you have your torch. You're gonna walk up to it and light it. In the meantime, on the
Roll initiative. No.
on the other side of this room, Rihu or Raja, you had rolled perception, correct?
Yeah.
What'd you
With
get?
advantage, you said?
Yep.
I got 22.
22. Well, my fine sir, as you approach this area, you notice a few different things. On the far side of the wall is a large flame. In front of that flame, and as you can see here, just like I had mentioned, that path, it looks like these bones are moved to the side. Directly in front of you, though, there's a very large stone, almost dark ebony, almost of a pure blackness. It's smooth. It's the smoothest object you've seen in here yet. And as you can see, there are bone spikes coming out of it and skulls on it. It looks like a very dark altar, and upon that altar, it looks to be a humanoid laying on it.
Can you turn like my point of view to the left a little bit
Just look to the left.
from my character? Other way.
To the right. You want to look to the right? That's just a wall there.
Okay, so it's not like a
No, it doesn't go in. It's
passageway
No, it's just a
to
wall.
the other side. Okay, then I will move forward if it's not a passageway.
Okay. Yeah, no passageway there.
Because I don't want to be seen by anything that's possibly over there.
Okay. Are you trying to continue to be quiet?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, roll stealth.
$18. 24?
24. Well, whatever it means, you sure feel confident that you're being quiet.
Okay.
For the three
And
of
I'll
you,
move up to the humanoid.
You're gonna move all the way up to the altar?
Yeah. I'll move up to it. I won't go on it though.
Okay. You up to it. The now that you're closer, you can see that the humanoid is actually facing you. It was hard with the light coming directly at you, but you're able to see that he looks. You notice it's a male, and you notice that he looks, although dirty, and pretty rugged or not in a good condition, but nonetheless a striking resemblance to the orphan that came pleading for help.
Ouch.
Okay.
Anything else?
I mean, yeah, but you can go back to the others for right now.
Okay. So on this, for you guys, gotta love the fire. Gotta love the fire.
Fire? I would never love fire.
Never. So you guys go ahead and you light fire to these here, or you put your torch to these here
Webs.
webs. Thank you. And as you do, just as you thought, sure enough, they start burning. A lot slower than you thought. Still fairly quick, but they are not burning just up in smoke quick. They do start to burn through. What would you like to do
Fire.
as they burn?
I want
I'd
to
like-
wait just like a minute or two to see how much they burn so I can walk through and not get stuck, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm kind of like closely trailing the fire myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang back and wait for Beefcakes to walk through.
These beefcakes.
I was just gonna say
That's
beefcake.
plural.
Uh,
Beefcakes.
Okay. Go ahead, everyone. Go ahead and roll or the three of you, roll a perception check.
Woohoo!
As you start to follow this flame, and it is moving at a good pace, but again, the very thick webs and surprisingly slightly resistant to this to burning.
Rolled an 18.
18,
I rolled a 22.
22,
16.
16. Awesome. You guys start to notice a few more things. Oh. As you get closer, under this cauldron, you're noticing some kind of stones look abnormal, as well as these looks like blue flames. Probably what's giving off this light. You see these blue flames just in this crackling, this almost like an electrical type of crackling. As you get closer, you notice a couple more things. You notice an individual standing in front of that cauldron and a translucent humanoid above that cauldron. Go ahead and roll for initiative because he has definitely noticed these flames. So we'll go ahead and have everyone roll for initiative.
When Rihu yelled that, did Raja hear him? 'Cause he didn't come over.
Roger would be able to hear that, yeah. And I know the pictures are going to be messed up, but I am going to do something real quick. Will you guys roll your numbers? I'll have to work on that after the stream sometime.
This is not what I was expecting.
25 to 20.
That's good.
23.
23 for Raja. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
The one guy who's not here.
And 20 to 18. Or 20 to 15.
Right here,
19.
16. Oh.
19 for Zep.
Yep.
16 for Vantalord.
Yep.
And
13.
what was that?
13.
13 for Rihu. And for our mystery,
Mystery.
see if I can move. Can. And he's not a skeleton lord, just heads up on that. Zep, you had a 19.
Yes.
Vantalord, you had
16.
perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Raja, you are up first.
Roger doesn't even know about this guy here, though, right?
He doesn't, but just to keep the combat order, whatever he wants to do for this 6-second turn. If you do look right, Raja, you can see a desk and blue light. That's what you're gonna notice to the right.
There's no tunnel way through.
It looks to be that there is, but what you notice from where you're standing is a desk, what looks to be a tunnel, and this massive blue light.
Okay, I'll go towards the blue light,
Okay.
and I'll make a note that the boy is there.
Okay. Are you wanting to take your just 10 feet of movement at the moment?
Well, I don't know. I'll just walk because I don't know there's nothing there.
Okay.
As far as I know, there's nothing there.
So when you move your 10 feet, you notice this here image in front of you.
Okay. Then,
Yep.
can I like move on the end of the desk and kind of crouch down behind it? Because as far as I'm aware, he doesn't know
Like right there.
I'm there.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll for stealth to see if you can maintain that stealth.
I should know what this is. Done it 4 times.
And that one. Just watch it. No.
21?
21 for stealth.
Yeah, I rolled a 15.
Okay. As far as you can tell, you haven't been noticed.
Okay.
Okay. Next we have Zep. Where? There we go.
So would I be able to see around beefcakes to see the guy?
So while it was burning, each
Great.
of you were following it forward as it was burning.
Mm-hmm. I was behind them, beefcakes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can see him.
Okay, is he 25 feet away?
Yes, 25 feet.
Perfect. So, I'm just gonna between the two beefcakes, I'm just gonna be like, "Hi!" And then as I'm waving in my hand, cast Ray of Frost at him.
Okay. Go ahead and cast that. What? How does that work?
Ray of Frost.
Yep.
Just vocal somatic. Standard action, 25 feet. It's a ray, so it's not. It should not affect anyone else other than the target.
Okay.
So it's a ray of freezing air and ice projects from your pointing finger. You must succeed in a ranged touch attack with the ray to deal damage to a target. The ray deals 1d3 points of cold damage.
1d3 cold. No save, no nothing.
No, I just must succeed.
Oh, okay. So you
In
got
a range touch attack.
Okay, so
I
roll
got
to
to
hit.
roll.
Yep, roll
Yep.
to hit.
19.
19. 19 does hit. This blue ray comes out between Rihu and Vantalord as it suddenly strikes into the side of this individual.
And that would be a 3. 3 damage.
3 damage. Okay.
Really, really happy you didn't roll on like a nat one or something there, because I feel like you would have raided me right in the back.
Just a little chilly.
Nothing like giving us the cold shoulder.
So after Zep, it is this individual. When you, as soon as he's hit by this ray from Zep, he looks over his face. His hands are still making these movements towards the cauldron and towards this humanoid figure above it. This translucent, almost like a bluish hue, just kind of translucent, not quite ghostly though. He looks over towards Zep. And the other two of you. And what you notice is this very. His skin is decayed like, but clearly not a zombie. But very much of that kind of look. Very decayed or shriveled skin. His arms are bone skinny. And these glowing ores are around his hand. As he looks over, he takes one of his hands, still focused on the humanoid, looking up, and then he takes another hand and casts it over in your direction. And he is going to cast a spell. He's going to cast a spell on Zep. Go ahead and roll a will save.
16.
16. You feel this tightening around your body as your limbs become hard to move. Even to smile, your muscles almost stop working, and then you shake it off. That will be his move, and that's going to take us to Vantalord. It is now your turn.
Okay. Finally, some combat. I'm dropping my torch right where I'm at, and I have. My brain just farted on me. Where'd my movement go? I have a 20-foot range. Am I able to get to him with 20 feet?
So remember, 10 feet of movement will allow you to still take an action. Distance-wise, you're 20 feet away.
Alright. Well, then I'm going to take...
And these webs are still up, and they are still burning. It looks like they're almost burned through. So they, being with their thickness, they may or may not give some resistance to you moving. But you can
Let's see here.
definitely push through.
You're javelin. I should be able to throw that at him. Okay, I'm going to pick up one of my javelins, and I'm going to throw it at the guy in front of the cauldron.
At this individual,
So,
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And I say it's got a 30-foot range thrown.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
does just base 1d6, so...
Go ahead, roll to hit.
13.
13. Oh, man.
Oh, man, I don't like hearing that.
So you pull back, you launch it, and you can see the webs just move as they're burning away. Nothing happens to this javelin as it flies through. The individual has his hand out casting that spell at Zep as your javelin strikes him square in the chest. When it hits him, it's a bit like you just hit a wall, a stone wall with your javelin, as it falls to his feet.
You're rat.
Go ahead
Nice
though
shot.
and roll damage on that.
A 2.
Two. Okay. Did you want to take any movement or just the action?
So you're being like, don't think I can go through the webs quite yet. I'm gonna keep my action.
Keep your just not move.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, that takes us to top of the order, Roger. You are here positioned.
Hold on.
Rihu hasn't gone yet.
Where did
What are you doing here, bud?
where you at? Did I not add you?
No, you
Apparently
didn't.
not.
Well, let me fix that. Oh, there you are. Nope, you're here.
Well, how didn't he
But
actually
you're just
go?
not in the initiative order.
No, he's there. I just had to click next.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, what does Rihu do after he gets over his confusion and thought he was going to be skipped? Because I didn't make that mistake.
I would, first off, I'm going to reach down and grab the torch that Vantalord dropped.
Okay.
Good deal.
And then I would like to try and, I don't know if I can jump through an opening or get through the last remaining webs
Okay.
to get forward at all. Looking to only take about 10 feet of movement. Looks like there's some gaps that are pretty big.
Oh, you're on top of the wall.
Oh, impressive.
Okay. So you make it through just to the other side of the webbing.
Okay. And this cauldron to me looks very suspect.
Yep.
So what I'm actually going to do is take the torch and throw it into the cauldron.
What are you doing with my torch? Why?
That's not
Why
your torch. That's my torch.
What are you doing with it? No!
Dropped it.
No!
You dropped
Just no! I dropped it so I could throw something.
So, Rihu, you very nimbly
Torch.
you run, and as you
I trip him as he does it.
As
Just
you-
because he dropped my torch.
as you move through these last remaining webs, they break away as your force goes through them. You make it just to the other side. There was some resistance there. You take that torch in hand and lob it up and into the cauldron there. I'll call that a simple action if you still want to do something else, and I will explain what happens later.
No, nothing else except for just taking out. No, nothing else.
Okay.
Nothing else.
When you do get through, you do see Raja on the other side there. You see him crouched behind that desk. And this creature, this very withered and sunken in, bone, skin tight humanoid creature, bearing, because he was looking at Zep, now looking straight at you. So now that takes us to Raja.
Nothing happened with the torch.
We will find out.
Okay.
We will find out as that torch is just entering into the top of that cauldron there. Raja, what do you do?
So am I within 10 feet of him?
I do believe so. Just outside of 10 feet. You'd be about 15 feet away.
Oh, so I won't be able to attack. Well, that's a bummer.
And after Raja, we got Zep.
I was betting this whole thing that was close enough.
You're right there.
Yeah, well, right there's not close enough.
Plus,
No, I
just,
guess I'll just move 10 feet closer.
just remember he's very distracted by what we're doing right now.
So you're gonna move up behind him, but not. You're just gonna get within range of him.
Well, yeah, I can't. That's not even in range.
Well, I mean, you're gonna take like the 10 foot,
Yeah.
10, 15 feet. You're gonna try to sneak up behind him. Is that what you're trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you still trying to sneak behind him, or are you just walking up behind him?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for stealth again.
Oh my goodness, that's an 11.
11. Okay. All right. So that takes us to Zep. What is Zep doing?
So, do I have line of sight on him still, even though people, beefcakes are getting in the way?
Yep. I mean, he's a bit more in your way. You do have a line of sight on him.
Okay.
If you're gonna, there's always that potential risk, but you do have line of sight.
I don't need to move then, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna cast magic missile
Okay.
at him. So I'll just, throw it a hand and just, throw my magic missile at him.
Okay. And is that a touch? Is that
It's range.
range attack? Okay.
Yep, medium. So I have 100 feet.
Okay. So go ahead and roll to hit.
I don't need to.
Oh, it's just
Just
a
hits.
just a hit.
Yep. This one
Okay.
just hits. There's no saving throw, nothing. But
Roll damage then. What kind of damage is it?
1d4 plus 1.
What kind of damage?
Oh,
How's that hurt?
let's see. This one. I think it's force damage, but let me just read here. Yeah, force damage.
Okay. Perfect.
Use the force.
Oh, I will.
Sorry,
So,
I'll behave.
It's 4 points of damage to him.
4 points of damage. Oof.
As my purple dart missile just shoots
Okay.
out.
Immediately
Right at him.
following Vantalor's javelin, striking him in the chest. You move your hips slightly to the side, you cast your magic missile, and it strikes him square in the chest where the javelin had just hit him. You see him slightly, you see his body move under the pressure, but that's kind of the extent of his reaction. You see, again, just this very focused and kind of,
Did it look like it hurt him at all?
yeah, you can tell that it
Okay.
made good impact, but there's no kind of concern on his face. You just gather from the tightness of his skin, he probably couldn't smile if he tried.
This skinny little guy, holy cow,
You said
he's strong.
he could smile if he tried?
Couldn't smile. He is
Okay.
just skin tight on bone. To where like
Like
a
he's-
zombie
I don't
would
like
be.
this, guys. I don't like this thing.
He pulls his hand back after you strike him in the chest, and he thrusts it back forward towards the cauldron as the torch is sinking into the cauldron there. And he screams out in a language. What languages do you guys speak? Riha.
Common, gnome, and Sylvan.
Common, Gnome, and Sylvan. Okay.
Yeah, let's see here. Common and Dwarven.
Okay. Rihu. And Zep. Raja.
Oh, just common, by the way.
Common. Raja, what languages you speak?
Common and Ignan.
Okay, so none of you understand this language. It's very guttural, very raspy. You hear him as his hand pulls back in. The torch sinks into this electrified like cauldron. You see this flicker take place in this cauldron as the lightning or the electricity lightning becomes erratic, and he thrust both hands back forward at this this translucent humanoid, and you see his hands swoop down to the left, and one followed by the other, and it's as if he's grabbing this translucent figure, and he thrusts his hands to the right and behind him to kind of give some. So between Rihu and Raja, he thrusts his hands from here back to here. And you see this humanoid suddenly, you can see it's a female, and you can see her face, and it's contorted and twisted, and you can tell that there's a sense of agony as you start to hear this shriek of a scream in a female voice. Vantalord, roll perception at disadvantage.
You all thought I was crazy.
I rolled a nat 1.
Okay. This translucent female is, and the image disappears as you hear this screech go between Rihu and Raja, and it is deafening, and it is just a violent shriek as that light swoops between the two of you and disappears somewhere in that direction. And that will be his turn. So, Vantalord.
Okay. Being that I still have that crossbow from earlier because I failed to put it on the cart, I'm taking that crossbow out and I'm aiming it right towards this ugly guy.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Yep.
Are you staying where you're at?
Yep, I'm staying where I'm at.
Okay.
And I rolled a 17.
Roll to 17. Well, even with Rihu in front of you, take a little side step. You quickly pull it up, let loose the crossbow bolt as it strikes him again, now in the side as he's turned and waved this entity away. You strike him in the side. Very, very similar to your javelin. Go ahead, roll damage. You see it strike him in the side, and it falls to the ground at his feet as you hear it clatter on the ground.
Rolled a 4.
Four.
Gonna be a low rolling day for me. Yay.
I know the
Does it
life.
look like he's taking the damage from these, the javelin and the arrow, the bolt?
It just doesn't look like it's, you strike something, you expect it to penetrate, you expect it to do something. There is much less reaction to these items. You can tell that like his body will shift. You know that he's being hit. It just looked like the impact is less impactful. Anything else, Vandalord?
Not from this one. I'm a little frustrated that I rolled low.
That brings us then to Rihu.
Alright. Now, am I within 10 feet here? I'd imagine pretty darn close.
Oh yeah, let's see. You should be. Should be 5 feet per tile.
Okay.
So yes, you are just within 10 feet.
So I just want to run up for an unarmed strike.
Okay. You get close to him, and not only is there an essence of this skeleton-like but skinned creature, some clothing on him. You can see these tattered robes that he wears. This this still blue emanating glow around his hands. As you run up to him, you also take in just this vile stench of absolutely. If you were to think of
Ugh.
rot and decay and just every, the idea of maggots, everything that is death, just pours off of this guy.
Sure.
So you go ahead, roll to hit.
Rolled an 18.
18, you hit. Go ahead, roll damage.
7 points of damage.
Okay. So you throw a punch, you strike him in the face, and it's a solid hit. A solid hit. As he looks, his head turns towards you. His eyes. Then, not even there. Just a slight glow in the empty sockets of his skull. That takes us to Raja. Your turn.
Okay, I like to attack him with my rapier.
Okay. Go ahead, roll to hit.
Do I have sneak attack on that?
Yeah, he does not know you're behind him.
So how does this work in this one? Do I get advantage on the roll or no?
Flanking.
I say if that's sneak attack, if he's totally in, if he doesn't know your race, should
it
be advantage.
Should be in. It's in the description there under the eye. I don't have it pulled up.
Under the eye.
Yeah. You know what? For the sake of it, right now we'll say it is. I don't think it is advantage. I'm pretty sure it's just the extra d6 on damage. But just go ahead, roll with advantage.
Oh my goodness. 9.
9.
Oh my!
So you have your rapier out and you go to thrust it forward. As he's dealing with everything with Rihu and from Zeb, as you're thrusting forward, you catch his cape, his cloak, and it pierces straight through there, completely missing his body. Movement or do you want to take any movement or stay where you're at?
No.
Okay. Takes us to Zep.
Okay. First thing I'm gonna say is, beefcake number 2. You need to move into the room. You need to start doing something, because those attacks aren't working. And then I will again cast Ray of Frost at Skelly Boy.
Okay. Reach out your hand again, utter some words, and cast Ray of Frost. Remember to be subtracting that gold for those spells.
There's no components to them.
Oh, smart wizard. Smart wizard.
Oh yeah. The only one is light. I've subtracted everything I've done for light. So.
Good job. You go ahead and cast Ray of Frost.
Yep. 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Just 2 points of damage.
2 points. Okay. You can. That strike hits him. It whizzes right by as this blue light of this translucent humanoid zips by Rihu. On the other side comes another, much less translucent light as your ray zips by his head and smashes into this here creature, this here humanoid. And it's a solid hit. After any movement, and as you notice, the
Nope, I'm not moving.
spider webs. Sorry guys, I got lost on Tailspire. Spider webs have burned away at this point. Okay, that takes us to our good old friend here. With Rihu directly in front of him, he will turn his hand over to you, place it right. You see his eyes, this glowing blue light in the empty, dark sockets of this skull. As he continues to bear down with his eyes, he'll raise a hand just in front of his face and then in front of yours. Rihu, make a will save.
This is my first time doing a will save. What am I looking for here?
Should be on the front.
Front.
Under your, there's gonna be
On your main
fortitude,
screen.
reflex, and will
Yep.
under saving throws.
Saving throws.
Right underneath your base stats of like the dex, instant, charisma,
Okay,
stuff like
got
that.
it. Got it. All right, that was a 18.
18. You feel your arms become tight, as if you're winding up to hit again, and nothing moves. Your face, everything stops, and then it goes away, and you have use of your muscles again. He is going to move to the other side of the cauldron. Both Raja and Rihu both have an attack of opportunity. If you want to take it, go ahead and roll to hit.
That's an 11.
Okay. And Rihu?
You're muted.
I was yeah, got it.
Sounded better that way.
Actually, 17.
17. Raja, your timing is just off, much, much closer than last time. But just barely missing him as you thrust forward with your rapier. He steps back, just dodging your rapier. He hesitates for a second. And Rihu comes in for a hit. Go ahead and roll for damage. Are you striking with your fist, or are you using something else?
Still just striking with my fist.
Okay,
That's really
okay.
the only thing I can do. Yeah. It's 3 points of damage.
Okay. Alright. And
He was kung fu fighting.
he continues around to the other side. Vantalord.
All right. Do I have? I'm gonna move this here. I want to move in the 10 feet just to the right, so I have line of sight.
Okay.
And I'm taking that new awesome little dagger that we just got, and I'm throwing it at him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Okay, so
And it'll just be dagger stats as far as if you load that as an armed weapon.
yeah,
And if you haven't,
I rolled
add
rolled
to
another
that.
12.
Okay.
So I need to throw a d20. If
So you rolled a 12 to hit him, right?
yes.
Okay. So you throw it, and you strike him. It just barely gets to him. It gets to him just fine, but you see that it strikes into part of his cloak and his shoulder, and it penetrates. And in the very next moment, as you notice that the tip of the dagger penetrates into his arm or into his chest, you're face to face with him.
Yes! Okay. Ooh. Alright, so I gotta roll for damage though. So let's go. That's 1d4 plus 4. Where's my d4?
As he bamps up to the guy, I'm just gonna make a little bow and say you're welcome to him.
Oh, thank you, Zep. This is where it gets fun. I rolled max damage on that thing, which is a 4 plus 4, which is 8.
4 plus. You have a plus 4 to hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just you add that.
No,
when you,
no, the damage is 1d4
Yeah.
plus 4. That's the total damage this little dagger does because when I equipped it.
and it's a regular dagger.
That's when it's the one that what you gave me for the name because I put it into RPG Scribe with all of the stats.
Okay.
When I equipped it, it said
It's
1d4
just
plus
one to hit
4.
and damage.
Yeah, it
Tom.
should just be a.
Huh.
We'll have to look at that, but it should be 1d4 plus 1 for the magic
Mhm.
property to it. So 5, still 5 points of damage though.
Yeah. It's just weird because I do have it as dagger plus 1,
You know,
but when I equipped it, it said it had a plus 4.
if it's what I
It's-
think it is, it should be a plus 4 to hit then. We'll take.
I'll send you a screenshot.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. But yeah, it sinks perfectly into his chest, and there is a. Not only can you tell that it truly it struck true. It seems to be doing something else to him also. There is a hollow scream that utters out of him. And that's your turn, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That takes us to Rihu.
Have a hypothesis. So I want to run. Let me see, which way is he facing? Basically, I just want to go to where he is, on the other side of the cauldron.
Are you going behind him or in front of him?
Behind him.
Okay. There's your 10 feet.
Am I close enough to reach him?
Yes.
Okay. This is normal, so I don't know how this is gonna work. I would like to try and grab him and throw him into the cauldron.
Interesting.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, but okay.
That's-
Well, my
Go-
thought is like that thing did not like the torch going in there, so I'm guessing this is kind of like an unstable magic. So I wanted to try and throw him in there to kill him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a contesting strength check.
Testing strength.
What if this is like a bath that's going to empower him?
We're all
Could go
dead.
either way.
We're all gonna die.
What in the world?
Between me lighting things on fire last week and now, or 2 weeks ago, now this.
Okay. What'd you get for your strength
Hold
check?
Okay. Oh. I got an 11.
Well, guess what? You're rolling against me. So, I mean, he's got some weight to him for the skin and bones that he is. He's got some weight to him. Whatever you make of that. And you reach around him. You grab him. You pick him up. What does it look like throwing him into this cauldron?
Well, just judging based on like what I can see with the map and everything, it kind of looks like it's about a little over waist height or shoulder height. So I'm just kind of trying to tip him into it.
It's
So,
like head height for you.
Yeah. So just kind of like picking him up slightly and then just like getting his head in and then dropping him. Like, does that
Suplex.
make sense? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you grab him, you bring him up. You get his head and shoulders going.
Can I help pick
in.
it up? I'm gonna assist him. Can I?
Yeah, I mean you're right there. I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna
as
help
far
assist
as,
him.
as far as height, it's a good 1.5 above your head.
Oh,
But
he
you-
can give
I
me
don't
that
care.
lower
get his-
leverage.
Yeah, you get his feet and start picking up, pushing his feet.
Yes.
I guess I'll take some percentile dice. I honestly didn't see that coming. I don't know what to do, guys.
I love it. I love it.
But I'll go ahead and roll this.
Whatever you roll divided by 2. No.
What time is it? Time for break?
No, yeah, no. Finish
After he
this
kills
off.
them.
I'm just assisting. I'm not doing any damage. I'm just trying to push this guy in.
It's like the
Let's see here.
ultimate.
So I'm gonna go ahead and roll these percentile dice. Okay.
What is it when the bullies would stick the kid's head in the toilet?
What, swirly?
Ultimate swirly.
I mean, there's like blue fire and
Let's do
stuff.
this.
That thing's got to be hot. That's gotta. It
Let's
can't
do
be.
this.
It can't be fun to go in there.
So you pick him up, you get him in there. You can hear him screaming. Again, none of you know what he's saying. It is very rough sounding. His hands are moving. Zep, you can pretty safely assume that he's trying to cast something.
Mm.
His hands are moving and moving. As his head goes in, we will go ahead and take a break.
Oh,
Just so that way you can figure out what you
Rude.
actually want to do.
100%. I already rolled the
DM needs a break.
I rolled the percentile dice. I have the number for that. This was extremely creative, and it kind of stumped me. But we are close to break time anyways, so we will
Okay.
use this as a good opportunity for that. And we
Sounds
will
good.
be back in about 5 minutes, everyone.
I think just for that, I think Rihu needs to be stream MVP today. I'm not even
This
advocating
works
for
out in our
myself.
favor.
I am
I
sorry.
can't even let like I'm not even gonna like I'm gonna be like no he's stream MVP seriously like
Yeah,
We weren't even
I'm not
like,
gonna advocate for
hurting him.
myself.
There's a whole stream left. That was.
That doesn't mean anything. Just the good humor. Wow.
Man, that was.
I'm-
What did I have planned for this guy?
well if you're gonna talk about it on here I'm just gonna sit here and I'm not gonna go get something real quick.
No, go.
I'll be
I'm
right
not. Oh. Okay. Cool. Okay. Okay.
Uh, running all the sponsors. Yeah, let's just pick someone up and throw them in a cauldron. Jeez. Horrible. Loved it.
I'm pretty sure I can hear Rory swearing, but I'm not sure.
I don't think so, but either way, that's hilarious.
No, he's just I can hear him swearing from here.
Because of how far we broke him. I think we
Yeah.
broke him. We broke
No,
Rory.
yeah.
Just flat
Yeah.
out, we broke him.
No, I'm pretty sure I could hear him swearing from here. He can deny it all he wants, but he's cursing Rihu
But-
right now.
Who's? Oh, you think Mr. Rory is cursing you out right now?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. He's got to be. But either way, I think it's absolutely hilarious. Uh, anytime I can throw someone off their game, it's always good. Uh,
Huh. Huh, 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 huh.
uh,
The choices we make. The choices we make.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
so this year, how many times have we thrown you off in general games? That's the question. Between our in-person sessions and this.
Yeah. They,
Like pulling books off of a giant shelf, man.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was funny. Yeah, nothing like being deaf for 48 hours in game as Zepp and are yelling literally.
Oh, man.
Back.
So, yeah, we're back on. Cameras are on. Yeah, you guys definitely surprised me. However, just takes a moment. Just takes a moment.
You just went and cried to John.
He just went and cried to John. My players, they're picking on me.
um, so,
Wow.
cool. I mean, that was good though. So, welcome back to anyone who is just joining us. We are currently just picking up after break. The four of them had gone through these mines, worked their way forward. Raja had found a altar with the other orphan boy on there. They have found this skeleton-like creature who was doing something with this translucent humanoid that was above this cauldron. They pursued, they attacked, and they got creative. And now, the skeleton dude is going into the cauldron. Let me see if I can.
Cauldron, cauldron, cauldron.
There we go. So as he's being tipped into the cauldron, he's moving his hands. When they come down to his hip, and his hips are currently still, his lower back is arched over the cauldron lip right now. As Rihu is trying to toss him in, Vantalord, you're pushing up on his feet. The two of you see, all of you see him moving his hands. Vandalord and Rihu, roll for perception. Being that you are immediately next to him.
Please give me a 20. Please give me a 20.
Roll in that 20.
I rolled a 15, but let me just double check my sanity. 'Cause I can't remember if I have a modifier. Perception plus. Ooh, roll a 17.
Yeah, so my net 20 is a plus 25, by the way.
Okay, so natural 20, so for 25. And Vandalord, you rolled 17.
Yep. We broke Rory. We broke him.
Vandalord, you see, and I'll tell you how this is going to work out, but you see on his hip a metal ring with 2 keys. Okay? Rihu, with your natural 20 for a 25, you see 2 things. First, you see a square leather pouch on this hip that you're on, like the side of the hip that you're on. You see a small leather pouch, but it's not a sack. It's more of like a square, as if you would put something in it, like a book or
Like coins or something. Or...
Not so much a. So it's not
Okay.
it's not a pouch like this.
Okay.
It's more like a square,
sleeve?
A sleeve.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Like a pocket almost, too.
Yep. So you see a pouch like that on his side, as well as you see a vial, and this vial is round. It is alternating of this kind of small. If thinking of the lightning here, the electricity here that you see, little bits of that seem to be clouded in a darkness. Last thing you see, so that's, you see these 2 things. You see the pouch and you see this vial. His hands, as his head starts to dip in, is reaching for that vial.
Okay.
Vandalord, if you want, you can make a reflex save to try to grab the keys. They are a bit far for your reach, so it's going to be difficult.
I'm doing it.
Are you wanting to make the roll, or do you want to do something else to try to get the keys?
Let's see here. Let's see. I'm gonna roll for it.
Okay, go ahead and.
I have a feeling I'm gonna hate this, but I'm gonna roll for it.
Okay, go ahead, roll for it.
Okay, where's the reflex? Reflex. 0. This is gonna be tight. I rolled a 14.
14. You, as his hips are rolling over and the weight of his body is starting to take the momentum for him to go in, you let go of the feet and you jump to try to grab these keys. Probably a good 6 inches short. As his body rolls over.
No.
Rihu, as this is at the same time that this is happening, you have many options, but there's the pouch, there's the vial, or there's whatever you come up with. But if you're going to make a reflex save, or a reflex throw to try to grab one, you're only going to be able to grab one.
We're going for the vial.
Vial. Okay?
Get the pouch!
And you have him in like a suplex. So you're gonna
Well,
have to...
I've kind of let him go at this point because he's done all momentum's going. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go with this. Okay.
Can I see any of it?
You can see that he's being dumped in, but from where you're at, you're back here.
Yeah.
So you
Not that
can
far away.
you can see that he's being dumped in, but all these kind of things, even Raja, who's directly behind him, doesn't see these these particular items, but he very clearly sees that this guy's being dumped into the cauldron. What was your throw?
I rolled a 9 with a +6, so 15.
As you're shifting your body out from under him and still moving him, obviously, into the cauldron, you see these couple items. His hand's moving, you see his hand moving specifically for that vial. Moments before his hand reaches, your hand grabs around this vial. When his hand continues, because he's planning to grab it, it touches yours, and you feel the sharpness of his fingers. They're not sharp like nails, but the sharpness of his fingers, like
bony?
a bone. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And this chill comes over your hand. This sense of weakening comes over your hand for just a second as you rip the vial away and his body dips it fully into the cauldron. The cauldron itself begins to just become boiling and boiling as it starts to spill over the edge of the cauldron. You hear it just hitting all the flames below. They don't go out right away, but after a couple minutes, the boiling stops. Much of the fluid on the inside has gone away, boiled over, and the blue flames below are now extinguished.
Well, I guess we'll never find anything out about him.
Could, once is the cauldron like cooled down a little bit now?
The cauldron itself, you put your hand up close to it, and it itself is still... Well, you know what? That's odd. You go to touch it, it's cold. As if there was never a flame below it.
Okay. Would you guys like to help me tip this over?
Yes, I want those
Absolutely.
keys.
What
Right.
keys?
Oh, yeah, I didn't say nothing. Nope. Mm-mm.
So,
What keys?
No.
What are you
Don't
talking
worry about
about?
it.
hold on. Looking at it though, I would want to tip it towards the entrance where we came in, not where like the shelves and the books and things are. So like I want to tip it towards like where we burn the spider webs.
So I'm gonna go in and out of the way, hearing him say that. Go back the way that, like, towards Raja.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Obviously, we wait for him to clear the
Yes,
space before
yes.
we do this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys... It takes a little bit, but you find some spots, and again, it's...
I'll cast Mage Hand and just help start gently pushing with
Give the
Mage
5
Hand.
pounds of pressure.
Yes.
Clearly, there was heat. Liquids boil with heat, and it is cold. And it takes some effort, but as you do, the stones below start to shift, and sure enough, the cauldron tips completely over, and what's remaining spills out.
And then I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Was I supposed to see, like, did Raja see the gold under the cobwebs in that back room? Or was that a mistake?
As you were, it was actually probably a mistake, but as you were behind the desk, right, you were scouting. You were coming in, you were finding a good advantage point. If you would have, which I'm going to say you did, looked right, as you're coming up, you would have seen some gold in there.
So I'd like to go to the back room while they're occupied with that
Okay?
and go find, go see what's back there.
Okay. So Raja,
We see him leave after he was the one who wanted to tip this.
Yes.
yeah. Raja moves off over here as this is still emptying out that water or that fluid on the inside spills out.
It was a distraction, so you can get the gold.
What are you
That's
guys doing?
yeah.
I want to go. So
Do we
the
see
corpse
anything
is
spill out?
Is the corpse? in
Yes.
there? Yeah.
Is the corpse.
So as you walk around and you see these bones come out, this black essence starts to come out of its chest. Kind of an not quite an ooze, but this inky like black substance starts to come out and hover above its chest.
Ooh.
And then it disappears.
Just it didn't go anywhere. It just disappeared like entirely.
Exactly. Well, as far as you can tell, it starts to hover and collect itself, and then just looks like it just. You can't see it anymore. It looks like it left.
It went poof. Well, I'm gonna immediately look at the corpse and search for that pouch that I saw when I threw him in.
And yeah, go ahead.
And I say, I'm gonna see if I can find that ring.
Now there's a ring. I thought you said keys. What's going on?
Don't worry about it. I didn't say nothing. You didn't hear me.
So, when you look for that pouch, Rihu, you find the pouch. It doesn't look the same. It looks worn.
Looks
Like,
what?
It looks worn. It looks tattered. Not falling apart, but it looks like it's like a decade older than it should be.
Did anyone see me take the vial?
You can roll a sleight of hand. Raja was right behind you.
Nobody touched the goo.
Okay, hold on.
Don't touch it.
I'm not touching. I rolled a 15.
Okay.
Hold on, and then I gotta get the sleight of hand. Plus 4, 19.
And Raja, roll perception.
17.
Okay. And what'd you roll?
19.
19. No, he was. I mean, as far as you know, no one saw it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I just want that in my bag.
Yep. So you got that vial. You find this pouch. It's still on him at the moment. Do you want to grab it? Do you want to leave it?
I'm gonna leave it. I
Okay.
don't know what this stuff is. Unless it looked like in good condition, I am worried it'll damage me.
Okay. Vantalord, you know exactly where you saw those keys. You look at them, and although you don't know that Rihu also saw this, but when you look at the keys, they also look drastically older, worn than they were previously.
Is there any sticks nearby that I can use to try to drag the keys out?
There's a whole pile of bones.
I'm gonna grab the biggest bone in that pile that I can see. I'm guessing it's gonna be a femur, a leg bone. And I'm gonna pull this set of keys out of the goo.
You know, pick them with a bone. You got a bone to pick with them?
Absolutely, I do.
All right. So you start trying to get those keys unlodged from the body, and Raja has moved off to the side over here.
So would I have seen Rihu, like messing with looking for the pouch or anything like that? Would I have noticed the pouch now that the body's out?
Are you guys trying to? Well, Vantalord, I don't think you're trying to be very
Nope.
subtle.
Nope,
He
I'm
said
not.
something about keys.
Yeah. And Rihu, I'd imagine you're not being subtle, or are you trying to just take an observational look?
Just taking an observational look. I'm not trying to be subtle right now.
Okay. Do you call it out? Is what I mean. Like,
The pouch?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll call it out and I'll go, but I'm not touching that thing.
Okay.
I will cast Mage Hand and I will grab that thing.
Okay. So, Vantalord, you take that femur and you start to jostle those keys and try to pull them away. After a few minutes, they do finally come loose. It does take a little bit,
Yes.
but they do come loose. You can see this fluid is there's still some residual on there. Zep, easy enough. You take your mage hand, this translucent hand floats over, and you're able to pick it up quite delicately and pull it away. And again, it's still dripping some of this fluid, and it looks like it's worn. You know, you don't know what it looked like previously, but this pouch has obviously been around for quite a few years.
Does it look book shaped?
If it's a small book, it's probably slightly larger than an average person's hand.
Okay. So I will set it down with my mage hand, and then I'll open it
Okay.
and see what's inside.
So as you start to open that,
With my mage hand still. Not touching it.
So the bone that I used to pull the ring out,
Yep.
it looked like it got older, or started to decay. Just out of sheer curiosity.
Doesn't seem to have. So you get those keys, and there's, like I said, it's not like they just have some residue left on it. You start to open up that pouch with the mage hand, and it has a clasp. You unclasp it, take the little fingers and push them in there and start to open it up. And we are going to come over here to Raja.
What?
I'm so confused.
Raja, when you come over to this area, you notice that there is a bright blue illuminated area. And now that you're over here, you see the gold sparkle even more. They are absolutely surrounded in these same thick spider webs. Go ahead and roll a perception check. In fact, Raja, you roll your first perception check for this, and then everyone, including Raja, roll one.
The one for that was a 16,
Okay.
and then the one for everybody was a 5.
Okay.
I rolled a
Roll.
19.
I
I
rolled, an
rolled a
11.
nat 20.
Now 20, 11, and what? What were those again?
19.
19, nat 20, and 11. So, Raja, you notice this here gold. You notice a chest. And you notice some round objects behind the chest. They look to be decent size. If you were to think, just kind of to give you an understanding of size, think of an ostrich egg. They're about that. They're about that size. So there's several of these round objects, large round objects. It looks like behind and on top of the chest, there's a large wooden chest, and then a significant amount of gold on the ground.
Does the chest look like it's locked? Or like
There's a locking
can't look like it's
mechanism.
locked? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. For the other two of you, three of you, 11,
Yeah.
two of you, no, all three of you. The other three of you hear that clicking, click, 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 but not mechanical. Again, it's that bone sound. It's like that popping sound. Raja, you don't hear this. Who had the
Okay.
natural 20, Vantalord?
Me? Yep.
Okay. It seems like it's coming somewhere. Well, unfortunate for your placement. You're over here.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's coming from in front of you. which unfortunately for where you're standing, that's all 3 avenues.
Guys, he wasn't the one making that noise.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that.
Zep, when you open that pouch, what you notice inside of there are very wet sheets of paper. It doesn't look like very many, but there are some very wet sheets of paper.
Can I detect any magic on him?
You cast Detect Magic?
Yep.
No magic.
This is trash.
Vantalord, what do you do with those keys?
well,
You pocket them, you toss them to the side.
I'm holding on to them. I'm putting them in my backpack because I have a feeling they're important.
Okay.
Usually, when I see someone with keys, there's someone in a jail cell nearby.
Okay.
So I'm gonna reach up, try to secure them onto my backpack, and I'm gonna let the others know that hey, this was hanging on him. There's probably other people alive in these mines.
Okay.
Can I search the desk?
Yeah. And while you do that, Raja, go ahead and roll a perception. And Zep, are you trying to take your time with this, or are you going quick about it?
I'm taking my time.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for perception. And Raja, what do you
Before
want to
we-
do?
Yeah. Wait, you want me to roll perception or him?
Zep, roll perception.
Yeah, okay.
Raja, what do you
I'm just
want?
gonna be stuffing my pack with gold, as much gold as I can get.
Yeah. I'm looking at Roger because I'm seeing that flame, his head move because I know he's got that bright red hair.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to get over him, but I still have this gigantic bone.
Mhm.
I'm gonna bring it with just in case because obviously I know there's spider webs over there. I don't know where they're at,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna try to use the bone potentially to pull off as much spider web as possible.
Okay.
So I'm just
If needed.
loading up gold as much as I can, with the idea of already splitting all the gold. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah. This is the broke one.
Uh-huh.
No, I just see you moving. I don't know what you're doing. I'm actually going over there to investigate.
And he's quickly grabbing it. You guys start to hear, first you're hearing this popping sound. You start to now hear this
Ting ting.
coin tinking sound. And within a matter of minutes, Vantalord comes over here. If Vantalord doesn't do anything, you'll be able to collect it all up. Vantalord, do you try to take some? Do you...
Well, first of all, as I look around, is all this inside of spider webs that he's trying to get into? If these are thick spider webs, is he getting stuck?
Very good questions.
Because he can try to be getting gold up, but you said that the spider web's thick enough to be the size of a rope.
Yep. So a lot of times he's able to reach his arms in, but for the gold that's deeper in there, as he's loading up, he's got almost all of it. As you're over there, you have the big giant bone, and the webbing is becoming a bit troublesome to get the final clump of gold in here. Raja, you do notice this. If you want to press on and take that chance of getting stuck, you can. If you want to pull back, you can. You notice that it's getting more difficult to not stick.
Have I made enough room to where I can step closer to the chest without being on the spiderwebs?
You can.
That chest is fine.
You'll be stepping on the spider web, and you notice that it's like the times when you've walked through mud, and you step into that big mud pocket, and you. Right, there's no suction to this, but that's the kind of force that's behind this stick.
Right, but it's not like I'm stuck.
It's
It's just like you might lose your boot.
In that situation, you might lose your boot. You could imagine that if your whole body was stuck to this,
Right.
it'd be very difficult to get out.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll just walk over to the chest. And then
Roger, I'd recommend stopping. You listen to this train of thought. We're around a bunch of bones, okay? And some of them have fever, femurs and large bones. How about we build a bridge and we put something on top of all this spiderweb that we can actually safely walk on it? Because I saw you moving around quickly, and with this much spiderweb, we don't know what these spiderwebs are going to pull out. So, but if we put stuff down on it where we can walk, we may not,
Or
I would say, attract unnecessary attention.
overhearing this, by the way, I do want to make it known as I point over to the tables on the other side of the room that those could be used as a bridge.
okay,
So, how about
I'll work my way back over.
I say, this is coming from the guy that likes to light things on fire. You know, obviously that was trying to help you guys out. I'm trying to learn from previous mistakes, just so you guys know as outside of player character. But I really do think we should put something else down and on top of these spider webs. Even though we can't get all the gold out, we can at least investigate what the heck this treasure chest is. And I'm sure there's other things around it because it's all covered.
That's true. I suppose we should best get to it.
Alright. So, as he's going to the table, I'm trying to pick up these bones. I'm going to slowly, try to build up something to cover all the spider webs so that way I don't stick to them.
Now, where are you grabbing the wood from? Just to.
I think they're thinking the actual table itself.
Yeah, I was thinking the table itself, like clear off the books that are on the table and
Okay.
just bring it over.
So as you guys walk over to do that with this table, Zep, you're over there and you're looking around. What'd you roll for your perception?
21.
21. So you notice a few things about this table or desk. You notice several items on top of it. On top of the desk, you notice that there is what looks to be a scroll. Also, some empty vials. You also notice a vial with a liquid in it,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple sheets of paper that have writing on them. And then it has 2 drawers as well.
I want to look in the drawers. I want to look at everything.
All right. So you go ahead and reach toward the drawers. As you guys are walking over to him, you notice that he's looking at this and trying to see what's up with this desk. Each drawer you check, you pull on it, they're locked.
I want to, on the top then, I want to grab the vial
Okay.
and the sheets of paper and the scroll.
The vial with
And
the
leave
liquid
the
in
empty
it.
vials. Yep.
Okay.
Anything that looks good, I can read the scrolls and paper later and see if there's any information about what was going on down here.
Okay.
And then I want to turn around and I'm assuming at this point they're coming towards me, and tell
Mhm.
well, I guess the 2 drawers are locked.
Just as a note, that you have that scroll.
Mm-hmm.
The notes, there's of those couple pieces of paper you grabbed, one of the pieces of paper is written on. This will help me remember what I'm supposed to tell you. So one has notes or writing. There's the scroll, and the vial has you've never seen anything quite like it. It's got a black essence to it, and inside of it, very similar to the electricity you saw around the cauldron, sparking off on the inside.
Okay.
That's in the vial, you said?
That's in the vial that he grabbed.
Okay.
So as they're walking up and I'm saying that, I want to look at the vial and tell them about the locked
The locked drawers.
desk. Yeah, locked drawers.
Okay.
Also, I would like to
Doesn't Vanillord have keys?
take a really big step towards the chest while they're all over at the table and check if it's locked or not.
I say I probably only have 1 or 2 bones on it, so it's hard to tell if you're gonna get stuck or not.
Okay, so you go ahead. You take a back step towards that chest to see if it's locked.
Yeah.
And as you go to lift the lid, it's locked.
Okay. Then I'll get back off, and I'll ask if anybody has like keys or something to pick a lock with or anything. Cause
Go ahead and roll a. Gotta open up my RPG.
I'm saying here's the thing is Raj's character doesn't know that I've got keys. The only ones that do would be Rihu and Zep potentially, because they overheard it.
Roll a.
Oh no, I know you have keys.
Yeah,
Ra-
I know. That's what I said. I said Raja would be the only one that doesn't.
Raja, roll a dexterity check. So a natural 20, or roll a d20 and add your dex modifier.
16.
16. So as you do this, you manage to not get too stuck. You do feel your boots stick, and for a moment there, you wonder if you're going to be able to get them off, but you're able to get back just fine.
Yeah.
And you call out to the group. And so you call out about the chest. Zep, you call out about these drawers. What do you guys want to do?
Well, guys, I may be able to solve the problem. One condition. Mr. Raja, you have seemed to acquire a good amount of gold for someone that's broke, and if you remember a couple days ago, I gave you a favor. I'm going to ask you to return the favor, and you split that gold with all of us, equally and openly. In exchange, I will try to open the chest and the drawer.
Good deal. You know what's funny is I was gonna do that anyway. So really, it's a win-win situation for us all.
I'll just hand him the vial. This is what I got.
Oh, well, for me, I'm not interested in the magic items, and I know that is your passion, Zeb. Keep your vial.
That's
but
not magic. It's alchemy.
Okay, but as far as Roger, he used a couple of things as distractions. That's the reason why I'm calling him out. So, all right. So I'm gonna head over. How many bones have I put on the webs yet? So that way I can try to walk on.
None.
Because I said I was working on
No.
going over to that close.
I mean, it wouldn't take long.
Bone pile.
There's bones all over the place. So
Okay,
if you wanted to just grab a bunch of rib cages, there's
that's what I'm doing.
bones everywhere.
All right. So I'm gonna grab as many as I can, and I'm gonna try to
Cover.
those webs so that way I can walk on them. And I want them to be pretty tightly packed together.
And you do. You hear, and everyone hears. Click, click, pop, 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 pop.
Is it louder than before?
It seems to be in a different location than before.
It's moving. All right, I'm gonna do this quick because that clicking, guys, it seems like it's moving. So I walk on top of the bones. I get to the chest, and I'm taking one of the two keys, and I'm trying to use both keys in the chest. Do either one of them open the chest?
Roll a percentile then. What do you want, high or low? Above or below 50?
I would say above 50 it opens.
No, you.
Well, that may or may not be what I was saying.
Oh,
But
okay.
do you
Well,
want, do you want high
I'll
or
say
low?
above. I'll say
You want
high.
high? Okay.
Dang, I was really hoping I could. That's a 63.
As you place the key in there, you notice a distinct difference in size. One is a very large key, one's a very small
Okay.
key. So, looking at the lock, you stick the larger key in there. As you're turning it, you feel the mechanism start to click into place. Something doesn't feel right. Do you keep turning the key? Like something with
Yes.
the key doesn't feel right.
Yes, I do.
Okay. As you keep turning that key, as it finally reaches just before that final, you know how it goes straight up to sideways, and it's
Hmm.
almost there, and it sticks. Do you keep turning it?
Yes, because this chest, someone's trying to protect it,
Okay.
and this key got it this far.
I would caution stepping to the side.
So you hear Raja yell this out as you finish pushing that key to its final position. And as
Crap.
you do, the key breaks. And when you
Uh,
pick it up and look at it, it's broken as if it's centuries old. Whether it's
Fantastic.
whether it's unlocked or not, you're not sure, but the key is broken.
Where did it break? Like, is part of the key still sticking out?
A small port, like halfway through the shaft, so a little bit sticking out. For Vandalord's view, unless you're walking over.
Well, guys, the key broke on the chest, so I think we it wasn't quite all the way open. I was probably 80, three
Are
quarter
you
or
even
so.
sure it was supposed to open it?
Based on how much I was able to turn it, I'm guessing so.
Oh, yes.
Otherwise, the key's not
I
going to even
forget
be
that
able
you
to
used to
turn
be a
it.
locksmith. Yes.
No, it's just common sense. You'd think that a key would, if it wasn't supposed to open it, wouldn't turn at all.
And Vandalord, you know
Common
that
sense coming from the person that lights things on fire in the middle of a mine.
I
Van,
chuck a bone at him.
Vandalord, you know that the key did go completely sideways in the unlocked position.
Mm,
Whether that unlocked it or not, without testing, you're not sure, but you know it made it fully to the spotting, and then it broke.
I'm going to try to open the chest just in case. Why not?
Okay. Uh, Zep, anyone else doing over at the desk, or everyone kind of focused on the chest at the moment?
Oh, I am
I'm
like
gonna sit on
almost.
top of the desk.
I'm like glued and watching
Just
the
wait.
I am
debacle of the
almost on
chest.
top of
Just
Vanillord
slowly
right
just
now.
start kicking my feet out, waiting.
Okay. So you're over here. You see the broken key. You see him going to lift it open. You've yelled your words of wisdom over to him. Rihu, what are you doing?
Honestly, there's not much I can do. I'm just kind of just observing the mayhem of what is occurring.
The mayhem that's occurring.
And
Okay.
hoping that they're able to open this chest up.
Okay, so you're kind of standing here. You got the gnome over on the desk.
Yeah,
He's
I
taking
mean,
some.
I'm a little hot. I'm a little tired. I just threw a skeleton into a cauldron. I'm pretty, I'm a little winded right now. So I'm just kind of catching my breath.
Okay.
Using both hands to catch your breath? No.
Uh, Vantalord, as you grab this, is there any particular way that you're opening this chest? Or are you just opening it?
I would say I'm grabbing both sides of the lid,
Mhm.
trying to lift it, lift it squarely.
Okay.
Like on a hinge.
Yep. And this is a fairly large chest. It's not huge, but it's like Foot Locker size. It's decent in its size, but it is tall. Uh, as you open it, you hear the hinges as they creak. The wood, the hinges as they squeak, and the wood as it creaks. Being so close, Vantalord, you also notice these large objects, kind of these round, large objects. Again, in comparison, about the size of an ostrich egg. You notice these, and as you lift the lid, they shift out of the way. You see them kind of roll around. A lot of times the spider web seems to catch them, but there does look to be a significant amount of them. You finish opening the lid, and when you look in, you actually see a few different items in there. Do you take the time to dig through it, or what do you do?
I give out a little little squeal.
Of
Just like,
excitement.
yeah.
While I'm this far, I'm going through the chest. Hey, in fact, Raj, how about this? Just because I'm already up here, if I hand you the items, can you bring them outside of where this spider web is? I'm gonna try not to break anything.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because maybe one of the others will see something that they recognize.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What
you
is, gosh.
you start to grab item by item out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first you see a round tube. Okay, it has closed ends. You pull that out.
Hmm. Okay.
Next, you see in there 3 vials. It's kind of dark in here to be able to see the exact color until you pull them out. But you see 3 vials. They look like they have a fluid inside there.
Okay.
Okay? When you pull them out, they seem to have a red hue to them.
Okay, so let's do this.
You keep going.
Yep,
Okay.
that's it. I'm trying to get as much out of this as possible.
Okay. You pull 2 more vials out of there. These ones are more like a test tube type of vial, and it has a cork and a very, as you spin it, a very thin, but kind of like ink, but clearly it's not ink the way it does not stick to the glass. It looks like some kind of black fluid.
Hmm.
Pop, pop, pop. Click, pop, pop.
Does it sound like it's closer?
Not, not that you would be, not that you can tell. It doesn't seem to be any closer to you.
Still sound like
Being-
it's still just in front of us.
Being alarmed and a little nervous,
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask Raja what he saw on the other side of the wall. Because he went the other direction.
The other boy
Yeah.
was on an altar. I actually forgot about him. Yeah.
Was he alive?
I don't know.
What?
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 I saw
What do you mean you
him.
don't know?
I saw him, and then I kind of walked over here, and then I saw the big skeleton dude. So then I kind of
Well, I
left
think
him
we
over
need
there.
to. We should go investigate that immediately.
Yeah, but like the chest.
What about my desk?
Nobody cares. It's a child's life.
Yeah,
I mean-
hearing about the child, Zep gets down and goes to the other room where
Af-
he said he came from.
And I yell to Zep, "Hey, after this, I'll see if I can unlock that desk for you, because that way we can try to knock out 2 stones with 1 bird."
Okay. So you guys head over here.
Yeah.
And I will come right back to that.
Okay.
Okay. So you keep going.
Yep. Where did I?
Okay.
Mind you-
So after that single vial with that dark fluid in it.
You said 2 vials of the dark fluid.
Okay, that works too. You see another one similar, but the fluid inside of it is. It almost seems like it doesn't flow as much as it moves. It's not like a. It's not like a.
It's like a sludge,
Like a sludge.
like venom.
More like a sludge.
Okay, so it looks like a sludge.
Yeah.
Any particular color?
Gross.
So
So then you see that one. You see a couple others. Were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say, am all I seen is just different vials?
Well, up to this point, you have that
Okay.
that one. You saw this sludge-like vial. 2 other identical vials to that. Each of these vials looks slightly different. The two with the dark substance in it, they look the same but different than the three with the red substance.
Okay,
Okay?
so
So they're distinctly different items. Then you see this one with the sludge and two that match, but they're empty.
okay,
Then after that, you see a bag, kind of a decorative bag, um, like a small sack. It does have some patterns on it. You see an ornamental container. It actually looks very nice. Uh, it is ornate beyond anything you've seen, besides what perhaps your family lineage has, or some royal family that you had assisted at some point, or your father had assisted. In the common area, this thing, you haven't seen it. It is nice. So there's this ornamental container. You also see you see 5 tiny silver cages. Like you could fit it in 2 hands. Small silver cages. 5 of them.
Jeez, there's a lot of stuff in this.
yeah.
You also find two more things. There's additional coin in here. And I can get you all these numbers in this list to you guys too. You find additional coin in there, as well as another vial with a red substance. Looks very much like blood. A piece of flesh, and a pouch of some kind of dust.
Okay then.
And that is everything you have found in here. Do you grab all the coin? Do you leave the coin?
I'm grabbing all the coins so that way I can add it in with what Raj is gonna split. 'Cause I'm gonna split it with the rest of the group. Just
Okay.
um,
Can,
and
can
then
I
Go ahead.
go ahead?
go ahead, Raja.
Oh, can I grab the egg things behind the chest?
Yeah. And you can kind of maneuver over into that area. Okay. And what are you doing, Bantalord? Was there anything else you were doing?
I was gonna say with these because it's quite a bit. Hey Raja, let's leave all these vials on the ground. Maybe some of these our counterparts may recognize them. I'm guessing not, but it's still with how much was in this chest, I think they seem rather important. I'm gonna head over to the desk to see if I can unlock that drawer, but I did tell Zep I was going to.
Okay,
Okay.
sounds good. I'm gonna try to cut up around the web to get the extra gold.
Okay. The gold that you weren't able to get last time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Okay.
say there's a
Just one
bunch
more
of bone
time.
on top of that, so you're gonna have to probably rip all the bone off,
There's
just
a
so you know.
little pouch off to the right, right on over here. So you come back away from those round objects, those egg-like objects, just to see if you can grab that last pile of gold. Vandalord, you come on over here to the desk to unlock those drawers.
Yeah.
You have one key left. Is that what you're using? Are you using something else?
Yeah, I was gonna try to use that one key.
Okay. Left or right?
Hmm. Right.
Okay. Go ahead and you put the key in and you start to turn it. Something doesn't feel right in this key. Go ahead and roll percentile dice.
Oh, good. Don't like hearing that. Eh, so- 71.
Okay. You keep turning, turning, turning. the key goes completely sideways. You hear a click. Drawer seems to have unlocked. Do you open it?
I step to the right side of the desk,
Yep.
as far as my arm can reach. Oh,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
Stand right in front of the chest, but you're scared of a desk.
just because say when you have two locked drawers, and we're hearing other things clicking and tapping.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Slide it open.
Yep, I'm sliding it open.
Okay. Slide it open. Nothing happens. You just see some paper in there. Looks like some writing. I'm gonna go ahead. Come on over to the two of you guys.
Hey then.
Well, Vandalord thinks about what he wants to do.
Okay.
So you guys come over here. Striking similar image, although again, his image, now that you can see him, he is not in a good condition.
Does he look any older than his brother? Like way older than he should be?
Roll perception. Not having dark vision is a little bit tricky in here with the light behind him.
I thought there were torches in there.
Directly behind him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got a 19.
Okay. So you kind of look and get the light, take a moment, your eyes adjust. I mean, not like what you heard about with that lady. He doesn't look like that, but
Well,
you would have put him maybe in his 20s instead of in his teens.
I would instantly want to check the pulse to see if he's alive.
Okay. Do a medicine check.
Good. Get that up. Medicine. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it on the
In your skills.
skills.
Yep. Under skills.
Yeah, but
and
what's
then
it under?
medicine.
There's
no,
no-
Or medical.
There's no-
Is it medical? Medicine.
no,
No.
there's nothing with an M.
There's heal.
Ah, heal. That's the one.
Heal? Okay.
Okay.
That's what it was. Okay. 17, actually.
17. Okay, you walk up to him. You see a nice open spot on his neck to be able to check his pulse. You move in, and you feel his neck, and you feel it.
So it's very weak.
Very weak pulse. You do notice though, he has some markings on his neck. Like something's bit him. Not like fangs, so it's like not vampire vibe.
Yeah.
But something seems to have bit him, and as you continue to look, you see almost as if something had grabbed and bit. It's hard to. You haven't seen anything give these kind of markings, but clearly something was doing something to his neck.
Well, I think, my first reaction is to try and grab him and put him in my bag.
Okay.
And, start getting him out of here if he's in dire medical or, close to death.
Okay. So Rihu starts to adjust this one of the orphan brothers onto his back to be able to carry him out. Zep, what are you doing?
I'll help him get him up there, but my tiny little modicum of strength I have.
Give the guy a hand.
So, how do you guys? What are you guys doing? We got the two of you with him.
Mm-hmm.
We got Vandalord over at the desk. And
Yeah,
Raja.
we better make our way back to them and try to get out of here.
I'm gonna go back to
found the
them
boy.
and out the way we came into that room when we
Okay.
initially got through the webs. Yep.
Watch out for the goo.
Okay, so you guys come back. Vandalord, what are you doing at the desk?
So, is my key still intact or did it break?
Still intact.
Okay. I'm
Do
gonna.
I see that he opened it?
Yeah, the drawer's open. Unless
Yeah,
you
the
closed
door's
it.
still open.
Okay.
Nope, the door's still open.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna see if I can turn the key back so I can take it out
Okay.
to try to open up the other drawer.
Okay. Comes out. You stick your key in the other drawer. Go ahead and roll percentile die.
Please don't fail. Please don't fail. An 11.
11. You put it in and you start to turn it. Key breaks. It barely even turned.
Crap.
What a guy.
And you guys
Thanks.
see this as the two of you are walking back. You see the one drawer open as he's carefully putting the key in, and it turns and snaps.
Sorry, Zep. I was trying to get both drawers open for you.
It's okay, we found the boy. It's more important. As I grab everything out of the one drawer and just start stuffing it into my bag.
Zep, I was in the chest. I did see it was almost like a tube with any closed ends. Is that in a whole bunch of vials? Do you want me to grab the tube for you? Because
You didn't. What, are you leaving stuff behind? If it seems important, grab it.
I don't know how much I'm going to be able to carry because there's a lot of vials. I don't know how fragile they are, and the chest looked like it was webbed in pretty good. Do we want to try to get the chest out of the spider webs, or do we want to carry all these vials?
Carry them.
Roger
It's not
sneaks
that
into the
heavy.
back.
You're a big beefcake. And as I slap him on the chest,
I say I'm not that much taller than you. For sure,
I didn't say anything about height.
I'm grabbing. So for sure, I'm going to grab the decorative bag, the ornamental container, the coin, the
You can
silver
give me the vials.
cages.
I can carry some of the vials.
Alright. Does anyone else want to help carry these vials? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Let's go.
10.
Pop, 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 pop.
Yep.
Pop.
Yep.
We're trying to get the boy out of here.
Yep. I'm okay.
This
I
is
pick
a
up.
medical emergency.
Alright,
Yeah.
I pick up everything
Something
that I can.
bit him. We need to go.
Okay, fine then. Okay, I'm picking everything up that I can and putting it in my backpack,
Okay.
just so that way we can get out of there.
So you grab. You can say you grab everything. You between
Yes.
you and Raja's help. You grab everything, including the
Yes.
vial of blood-like substance, the flesh, and the
Yes.
Okay, so you grab everything. Raja, what are you doing?
Well, I grabbed the gold and the eggs.
Eggs. Why are you grabbing
Uh,
eggs?
Egg-looking things, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Are you doing something with them, or you mean you're like grabbing them to take them, or what?
I'm taking them.
Okay.
You know, like we have to collect everything, and then we can leave and check it out
Okay.
at the surface when we're safe.
How many are you trying to
What
grab?
I was-
You throw the coin into your pouch. How many of these items are you trying to grab?
How many egg things are there?
A lot. You know, if you were to ballpark it, 30 to 50.
Oh, and they're like ostrich size?
Yeah.
Then I'll grab like
Don't
2.
touch the eggs.
I'll grab one, put it in my backpack really quickly,
Okay.
and then grab another one.
Okay.
And
One
hold
in
it.
your pack, one in your arms.
Yeah.
Pop, 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 pop. Click, click, pop. Raja,
Gotta
you
go.
swear this sound is in front of you.
Can I look up?
You look up, you see darkness with some illumination. It doesn't look like anything's moving, but there's a lot of shadows up there.
Okay, we are like there needs to be a high tension here. We need to go. This is
so I'll
not
take
a
on my-
decision anymore. We have to go.
I'm just
Yup.
gonna bolt.
Yep. I'm right there with you at this point.
Can I slap the one egg out of his hand as he's trying to walk away with it?
And you can try. He can try to prevent it too.
My supper.
Yep, I rolled a natural 1, so I didn't slap anything but his like wrist.
Raja, go ahead and roll.
You didn't need to
Roll.
roll. I have a negative.
Just
What-
roll.
Yeah. What did you roll, Zip? What was it? Just flat roll?
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay, I got you. Just roll a flat roll.
Oh, I rolled a 10.
Okay, 10. Yeah, he see like you telegraphed that like nothing. Like he's like, nah, no, that's mine.
Man's got to eat.
So you guys start
Spider
working your
eggs?
way out.
We're all gonna
Yes.
die.
Yes, following the same path out.
This thing is gonna chase us because he's carrying these freaking eggs.
Before we get too far, we do have the boy, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
on-
I'm carrying
yeah.
the boy. Like
He's carrying
that's
him.
that's why I'm yelling at you guys because we have to go. Like you guys don't have
Yeah.
time to select things. We have to go.
Rihu.
I'd like to step on the lich's head as we leave.
Well, I never said he was a lich, but the skeleton.
I mean,
guy.
the skeleton dude.
Uh,
Just be like, that's for dodging all my attacks.
so you step on his skull, and it just, when you do, it just crumbles into dust. As you are slowly making your way through here, Raja, as you are starting to leave that area in particular, roll a reflex save.
I don't even know what that is.
We're all
it's
gonna
the
we're all gonna
eggs.
die.
Why
We're all
did you
gonna
have to take
die.
a fucking egg?
Oh my goodness.
Eggs. Seriously.
Language cat.
That's
Sorry.
What'd you
rolled
get?
from a 13 to a 5. So that's a. Sorry. That's a 10.
That's a 10. Okay.
That's rough.
I will.
Wipe your butt with sandpaper.
My dice gave me false hope.
Will feel very, very thankful that I am your DM, and I
And he
am
rolls like
cursed.
crap.
I am cursed.
We did.
However, Raja, as you start to exit this area, you notice that there is a creature up here that lunges out at you.
That's what. Oh, this is actually what I was gonna have the thing in my hand for. The egg in my hand, I was gonna throw it at something.
It is hard to tell what this thing is, or even if you've ever seen it. It looks to have multiple legs and a vicious face. It is probably the size. If you were to guess, this is happening so fast. The size of your chest. It looks pretty big, as it is scurrying after you.
Is it behind us?
Well, it's behind you guys because you all started to head out.
Yeah.
Raja
we had
was
to get
following behind, and it lunged at him, missing him.
Okay.
And now, Raja, you can see that it is
Run,
making
run.
an attempt to come for you.
Run.
Oh, well.
Run.
Run.
It's got 28 other children.
Here-
So I'm dipping
And you're
out.
carrying one of them.
I'm actually carrying 2 of them.
Do you now realize why this is a bad idea to hold these eggs?
No, that's why I'm running.
So,
Egg down, man.
Put the egg down. We're all gonna die.
so we will go ahead
That's how you get the party moving quicker.
and
Don't you do it. Don't.
We will stop this session here
No,
with,
Dad.
Turd.
with everyone fleeing, and move into the end of the session here, end of the session for tonight. As this unknown creature is fleeing, not fleeing, but chasing you.
Yeah, it's scared of me.
It is, Raja, when you saw it, it was dark in color. It was hard to even notice it. It was like a shadow moved. You can hear it now behind each of you. You can hear
Is it those
that
pops and cracks?
popping and cracking sound even more rapid than it was
This
before.
is why I was watching the stupid ceilings.
Raja, in the split second that you saw it to move out of the way, just in time, Sure didn't look like it was affected by those webs.
Oh, that's utterly fantastic.
Well, at least we burned a barrier that would have been in front of us.
And
You know
we
who
will.
else isn't affected by those webs?
Me, spiders.
I
So
walked on them and then walked off. He's probably so disappointed in himself.
we will end it there. There was a lot of things done here, things that will definitely impact future sessions.
There's only two people
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in my party right now.
I'm one of
And
them. I
I'll
know
tell you
that.
what. I'll tell you what. The one carrying the kid is not the one I'm disappointed in.
So we will.
I would
I'm carrying
agree.
kids.
Hey, first time chat with four. Oh man, I'm horrible with names. I am sorry, guys.
Forge on Fear. Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Perot.
Furyu? Furries.
So welcome. Thank you again, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and do our stream MVP. I don't exactly know how we're gonna do it because I don't think unless you're here now, I don't think Amanda's here today.
She hasn't been
At
here.
Mystical MYS. So I'll learn how to run two things: the Nightbot, so I can get the giveaway up, as well as the poll. That way, it'll just be easier. But we will still do stream MVP. So Rihu, go ahead, and why should you be stream MVP?
I mean, I got to throw the lich guy or undead guy in a cauldron. I mean, that alone, I feel like warrants the stream MVP.
Okay. Anything else? Not to say there has to be. I'm just saying.
No, I think I'm gonna let my actions speak for myself today.
Okay. Let's go to Raja. Why should you be stream MVP? And again, everyone listening, if you're familiar with Blue Box, stream MVP is an opportunity to kind of, for people to say some highlights, fun things, whatever they might be, role play that they were involved in, to why they think that you should vote for them, and then what they get out of that is XP. So Raja, why should you be stream MVP?
Well, Raja should be stream MVP for he doesn't just give up. He takes revenge even when the person can't fight back. And so then he got his revenge on the undead guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he feels accomplished. And he took the eggs, which made the monster start chasing them, which Rihu was complaining that we weren't moving fast enough. Well, now we're moving faster, aren't we?
Well done.
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah. You also went around the other way, and you actually, in fact, found the boy.
Exactly. And, you know, if my distance calculations weren't so bad, I'd have been a lot cooler.
Okay. And thank you, Runrab, for gifting those subs. And Vantalord, why should you be stream MVP?
I'm actually not going to advocate for myself.
Oh, come on.
I say the only thing that I did good was actually threw the dagger and had teleport activate.
Yeah?
But that's literally the only reason why I would be stream MVP, if nothing else. I still think Rihu would do it because he came up with a brilliant idea of throwing the guy into the cauldron, being that our attacks seem to be doing little to nothing. So I'm actually advocating more for Rihu than myself.
Okay. Zep, why should you be stream MVP?
Well, I should be stream MVP because at this point, I had the idea to burn the webs, so now we have a clear path back. We're not trying to run through webs.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Between Rihu and I, we were more worried about the boy than looting.
Okay.
And you know, I continually tried to throw whatever I could at the mummy undead guy until he went into the cauldron. So I gave it
Hey,
a my all.
I threw things at the mummy, but my character didn't know about the boy. You gotta remember that. So how can I be worried about a boy that my character never
You
even knew
found
was
out the
there?
same time our characters did.
Yeah, you actually did.
And what did your character do?
Uh,
Worried
Yeah.
about a chest.
So
That-
we will go ahead and what we'll do, kind of like this is Greyhawk Book 1. I remember John doing this. Anyway, it's going to take us just a second. So everyone that's here, we have 35 people currently watching. Throw in the name of who? Rihu, Raja, Vantalord, or Zep, and we'll count them. And we'll tally it up that way. So go ahead, starting now. Just go ahead and throw it in. You can probably even at... No, it's not going to work that way. So just throw in the name. Rihu, Vantalord, Raja, or you can put Zep instead of Zephelius. Unless you want to spell it out. Either way, your choice. So go ahead. We'll take just a couple minutes. Throw those in there. Again, these points, these votes matter. It's kind of a nice little spotlight for them, but also it's XP for them too. And
I'm
right,
keeping track of the votes, just so you know, Rory.
sweet, thank you. And I believe I've been giving you guys 500 XP for MVP. So it's 500
Yes.
experience points, which is pretty significant to them right now. Can I type more than once? Renrab?
No.
Just once.
Gotta
Am
pick
I
your
too
favorite.
high on the XP? I feel like I have too much.
Mm.
I have 2,135.
That's still not enough to level up, so don't worry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Unless you did math wrong. You have all the chats to you. Darn. But you can
That's a
Renrab.
good player.
Renrab, if you want, you can say what you enjoyed. Absolutely, love to hear that.
Or
But yeah,
change your vote if you decided you like Zep more. I mean, that's fine. Nobody likes Vanta board.
Except the fact that I won stream MVP twice.
So
You
who-
got it
Yeah,
once,
once
though.
was a fluke.
So who,
Once was a fluke.
Yeah, you
Ouch.
just lit everything on fire. Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay, simmer down, boys.
Sorry, Dad.
So we'll let this go. I'll set a timer. We'll let this go for another, let's say another minute. And then we'll take the final tally, and then they'll get stream MVP.
Oh, that's loud.
But
So
yeah,
there's... Wow, that chat just dropped from 36 people watching to 25.
yeah.
Say, if you guys haven't voted, just throw in a name.
Zep,
nothing
it's the
else,
shortest
Richard.
name on there. I'm just saying, it's only 3 letters.
And stick with us too, because once we get this again, sorry that I don't have the current skill set for the giveaway and the actual poll, which makes this a little bit easier. But we'll go ahead and raid our good friend Lord Gazumba. So stick with us a few more minutes and raid into Lord Gazumba with us. It's always great to show support to our fellow people in the community, and he runs Greyhawk as well. He's been doing this a long time. So awesome to give him that kind of support. So just 4, 3, 2, 1.
For you.
Yeah, Ryu had it. He had 2 votes.
Rihu. So Rihu, you got stream MVP.
It's a
for
first time.
Dropping a monster into a pot of who knows what, and carrying
Yeah, for
out
sure.
a dead boy. Well, not dead yet.
Wow.
But I'm not
Did
dead
you,
yet!
did you just tip your hand there?
No, he's just near dead. He is.
He'll be very shortly. Bring out your dad!
I mean,
Sorry.
you guys do have something chasing you, so.
Yeah.
The boy is
Ooh,
dead. He's
I
just
say
like,
if we get into a pickle, we trip Vantalord and then run with the dead boy.
Why, is that because I threw a bone at you earlier?
You didn't throw a bone at me.
Yeah, he
Hey,
mentioned he had tossed
I-
it away.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know,
I
but he didn't throw
did.
it. Nothing ever
suppose.
happened. He said he was going to, but you say a
No,
lot of
I
things
said
that don't
I
actually
said
happen.
I'd throw something at you, and I guess
Yeah.
the GM didn't have me.
Okay, let's
I didn't throw anything.
let's
Okay.
let's raid into Lord Gazumba. 1 second, guys. Raid Lord Gazumba. Start raid. I think this takes a couple seconds, and then I get the raid button. Yes, ready to raid.
Wow.
7.
Oh, that person really wants us to eat things.
I know who that person is.
It's like your niece or something.
Yeah, I had guardianship over her for a few years.
That's awesome. Your niece is following.
Yeah.
Okay, we will raid in 3, 2, 1. See everyone in 2 weeks. Remember,
Dingus out.
next Sunday for Tears of Aird with John.
Good stuff.
And
Yep, we're over.
Looks we're swapped over.
sweet, you guys.
Good deal.
And I finished on time. It's 7:11.
Look at that! Look at that! Nicely done.
So I
You
typed
see
that out
that,
loud.
Dad?
See what?
7-Eleven. That's 4 minutes. I could have intimidated that monster crying.
You couldn't have intimidated anything.
You're about
thing's
as
going to
intimidating
eat
as
you.
Walmart toilet paper.
I'm going to
I'm
trip you
very
with Mage
intimidated,
Hand if you don't
Dave.
drop this stupid egg next week. And the other one.
Oh man.
Do you realize that thing didn't attack until you grabbed the egg?
You know, I'll throw
Are
its
you just
egg,
realizing
you
that
can catch
now?
Oh,
Ouch.
I gotta stop that stream thing again.